You don't believe in, like, scary stuff? Just like, you know, ghosts?
No, I believe in scary stuff. I don't believe in things
ghosts
that are totally
and that.
illogical. Yeah, ghosts.
Vampires?
No. Anything made up by man.
Well, there was something in the paper the other day about a vampire. How they found one. They dug something up.
It was in the paper?
And,
oh, it's true then.
It's definitely true.
But we'll leave that, because you're just going to do that, so it doesn't matter.
No, come on,
No,
listen,
go on, quickly, tell us.
No, it's just that they found a body in a coffin with a bit of wood through its heart and a knife in its mouth. But if you don't believe it,
it was
then
a
what's the
vampire
point?
pirate. It was a vampire pirate.
But that's definitely proof of a vampire then, and of course, and not some grotesque murder.
Yeah.
That's definitely proof of a
If
vampire.
it was found, if it wasn't made up.
Hang on a minute, hang on a minute.
As far as I'm aware, when you put the thing through their heart, they just turn into dust.
And also, all their victims get their own life back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
right,
the
and here was the second bit.
Yeah.
Somebody had dug it up, got the heart, blended it, burnt it, popped it in some water, drank it, and they're in prison now. Now, if it wasn't dodgy stuff, why are they in prison?
Because they're mental, because they dug up a body, liquidised its heart, burnt it and drank it. That's why they're in prison.
There's your answer.
Right. But anyway, that isn't what I'm talking about, right? But I met Derek Akora the other week.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Now, who's he? Which one's he?
Is
he a medium? He can contact the dead, is that right?
He just chats to him and that, passes messages on.
Nice of him.
So I said, oh, tell us something a bit weird and that. So he said, what do you want to know? I said, just something weird. So he goes, all right then. He said, here's one for you, right? And he said, there's this pub out in the country, and he said, there's this mug. Do you know those old mugs that they have, where they used to like leave their own cup knocking
like
about?
A tankard.
Oh yeah.
The tankard thing.
Yeah.
So there was one of them mugs in there, right? And everybody.
Tankard. Let's use tankard if we've established that's the word.
Tankard, yeah.
Because you're the only mug in this story.
Right.
You believe in it all.
High five. Great.
So this tankard's knocking about, right? And everyone who's running the pub keeps going, oh, I wish they'd stop leaving this tankard about, right? And they pick it up.
It must be a pain. Having a tiny, small tankard in a pub. That must be a real grind.
So every time they sort of picked it up and went, we'll have to wash that, and they popped it on a different sideboard. Next thing you know, that person who's touched it died, right?
Sure.
So
they must have been getting through bar staff.
So they kept getting a new staff and that. And they were like, what's the connection here? Right?
What's the connection here?
Oh, God.
So anyway,
call Australia. We've run out.
So they sort of someone notices and they go, you know, it's a bit weird. It's that cup, right? So they get
tankard.
So it's that tankard and that. So they get a vicar in.
Of course they do.
And they go, look, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. This tankard, every time someone touches it, they die. So he said, leave it with me. He gets his special water out and what have you. He comes round, does a little prayer, sprinkles it. He goes, right, not a problem, don't worry about it. He picks it up, chucks it in the bin. Guess what?
What?
Dies in a crash on the way home. Because he'd picked it up.
Well, but Karl, you're telling me this like it's fact, and I'm meant to go, that's amazing.
Derek Akora, he told me.
Karl, I have no opinion of that story, other than I'm pretty sure there was absolutely no connection between touching the tankard and him dying. That's all I'm sure of.
It's not just him though, is it?
I'm not going to even contest the chain of events. All I'm saying is there is no connection. There is no connection possible because I believe in logic and the laws of the universe. So when you're telling me miracles and strange things outside coincidence, you may as well be telling me about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, because they're equal to me. That it's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous.
So what would it take though for you to go, oh, I'm actually a believer now?
But what you're saying is I can't answer that question because I'd have to base my beliefs on some of your premises, which I can't do. It's like you saying, but what if you found out that 2 and 2 equaled 5? I can't. It's a necessary truth that it doesn't. I'd have to go back and fundamentally disagree with what I think twoism is, two-ness and fiveness.
And you've never been in a situation though where you've gone, this room feels a bit weird. Could be something, do you know what I mean? Could be something knocking about, or.
But that's a different question. I could go into a really rough-looking pub and think, this isn't good, because it's based on induction then. Because
I mean, like, you know, if you've been to Cornwall on holiday and stayed somewhere and you've gone, do you know what? I'm sure so much died in here.
I'm sure so much died everywhere.
Yeah, but what I mean, you never pick up a vibe of like I've got a mate, right, who is living in this big stately home, right, and what it
Why is he living there?
He's paying £100 a month, right, and it's almost like he's being a security man.
Oh, right.
But he's not. He doesn't sit out the door with that on and everything. He just goes about his life, but he bases most of his work in this stately home.
So what is it, like a
housekeeper, like he's sort of house sitting?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's massive. It's bigger than Buckingham Palace, this place, right?
So what is it, a billionaire that's gone away or something?
I think it's some sort of. I think he said something about a viscount or something, right? He said he owns this place. He's living in America. This place he owns, but it's falling to bits.
Wow.
And he's worried that people are going to go in there and squat and what have you. So he said to me, mate, you know, there was an advert in the paper, he doesn't know him, advert in the paper saying, do you want to live in a big house, 100 quid or whatever? And he went and had a look, right? And he's living in there now, he pays £100 a month. There's about 80 rooms.
Gee.
And it's this big stately house and what have you. And I went down there, he said, oh, come down and have a look, right? And from outside you go, oh, this is brilliant, it's like something out of, you know, like the Man of Born or something. You go, this is impressive. But then when you get in, it's like, it's a wreck.
It's
right?
just falling apart because they can't afford...
Well, it's just been left. No one's doing any vacuuming up or anything. There's like rat poison everywhere. Like windows are smashed, doors kicked in.
That's a real shame. Why is it? Is it?
I don't think he's doing his job, is he?
Is it because it would cost like millions to do up or
well,
something?
Apparently it'd be like I think they're going to have it done up, but it's going to cost like 80 million, right? So anyway,
it's a big house.
It's a big house.
So we go to the pub and what have you. I've got like a little torch, and we're wandering around looking in all these different rooms, right? And I'm asking him how's it got in this state? Do you know what I mean? If someone's had it, why have they let it get to this state? And he was saying how, you know, it was like a mental home at one point, and it was like a drug thing as well. People who had problems with drugs, they popped them out there because it's in the middle of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? If you needed drugs or anything, forget it. It's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So that's straight away. Do you know, like, have you ever been in a hospital when it's been shut down, or a school when there's no kids in it, and there's that sort of bad atmosphere of like weirdness?
Yeah.
Right?
For the sake of argument, yeah.
So we're wandering about, and I say, oh yeah, what's in this room, right? And we go in, and all the floors are like a wreck and rotten and stuff. And I looked at the wall, and there was like a little piece of paper stuck on the wall, right? And I said, what's this here? So I wandered over, right? Got right up close to it, and somebody had wrote it.
Somebody had wrote it?
Oh.
Somebody had wrote it.
I love this. Imagine him on Jack and Ori. Right, okay. Right, go on, sorry.
So there's a little sign there, right? And I go up to it, and it says flies, right? With an arrow. Flies, like, flies this way, right? So I think that's a bit weird. So I follow the arrow, right? Which goes to this corner where there's a shelf. About 3,000 dead flies on it.
Oh my God.
Condom stuck on the top. That's weird, isn't it?
That is weird.
That is weird, right? So I'm looking at that, and there's loads of stuff on the floor and that, bits of paper. Picked up this bit of paper, right? And it had, like, in biro and that, it looked really old, like it'd been there years. And it had something like, need nappies, dummy, right? Blankets, blah, blah, all this, like, all stuff for, like... And I turned it over, right? And it said, none of this now needed, baby dead.
Right.
Now that's weird, isn't it? Now that's what I'm talking about when you get a bad vibe. You go, that's who's been in here.
So I don't actually understand what point you're trying to make, Carl.
Just because who's written that? Who's been in that room? Who's been in that state? And then straight away your mind starts going, oh, I'm getting bad vibes in here.
But Carl, didn't you just tell us that it was once occupied by drug addicts and mentals, to use your word?
Yeah.
So haven't you put two and two together and thought that was probably who wrote it? That doesn't mean it's paranormal or ghostly. You walk into a building, it's a big, terrifying, empty house. It's terrifying in as much as it's cold and dark and drafty and a little bit spooky in this sort of illustrative sense.
And insecure.
Yeah, you're a bit nervous because you know, it's got this sort of, it's got its bad vibe. It's just based on the fact that...
Your mate's in charge.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, yes, so it's like saying, are we scared of the dark? Yes, I understand why people are scared of the dark. I'm a little bit scared of the dark. You're walking along.
Because you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, you don't know what's in the darkness. That's why people get nervous. It doesn't mean you have to make the leap then that you've got some paranormal sense. Oh my God, I'm Karl Pilkington, and hang on, just like Derek Acora, I have sensed something strange and evil in this room. Wait a minute, there's some flies in a condom. I was right all along.
That is weird.
Flies in a Johnny equals madness.
The flies in the condom was weird.
It's weird, I don't know,
but the note.
Yeah.
I just think of his face when he saw that, reading it by torchlight. You must have been terrified.
My mum called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue
She
there.
thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I mean,
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
there's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin, brackets astronaut, has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, oh, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around. It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when
It
Suzanne
scares
does
her.
it. She never indulges
No,
it,
it
does she?
scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't
ignores
scare her,
does
it bores
scare
her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay.
There was one.
Here we go.
There was one about a woman whose husband died, and she had him cremated.
Yeah.
And made like a little egg timer out of him.
Right.
And she said, I did that so it can still help around the kitchen.
Well, that might be true. That might be a joke.
That's quite sweet.
That might be
That
true.
is a true story again. It was all
No, not
right.
again, because the ones I just told weren't. Nor is the boiling the brains in a bag curry microwave.
Head story, true.
Yeah. They're too convenient.
Will you be buried or cremated?
What?
Will you be buried or cremated?
I don't know. By cremate. You saw something about the Bermuda Triangle, didn't you? That
Yeah, when I talked about ghosts, you sort of just... because you don't believe in it. Or I think it's because you're scared of it, to be honest, and you can't admit to understanding it and
Sure.
actually believing in it.
Sure.
Thing on last night, Steve.
Yes.
Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know much about that?
Mainly the
by,
song what was his name?
What's his name?
Bermuda
Triangle,
Triangle, where people
No,
disappear.
no,
Bermuda
did-
Triangle.
What's his
don't
name?
go near.
No, Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the lyrics? Bermuda Triangle, where people disappear. Bermuda Triangle, don't go near.
I
Yeah.
shouldn't really make a joke out of it.
No, you're right. Go on.
But what it is, right? There's a program saying what it's about. What do you know about it?
As I say, mainly from what Barry's told me, but certainly planes and various boats have gone missing within the Bermuda Triangle.
Planes.
Yeah, but obviously that documentary didn't explore
He
it.
learned a lot about that. For that. I learned a lot about American history through "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel.
Again, most
So-
of my knowledge of the sort of Tsarist Russia comes from
Rasputin by Boney M.
Well, listen.
Yeah, he was the lover of the Russian queen.
They put some poison into his wine.
Yeah, yeah. They shot him till he was dead.
Yeah.
Which is, go on.
Right, well, this,
those
right?
Russians.
Sort of bit of an earthquake in the sea.
Sure.
Lets out methane gas.
Okay.
And apparently, if methane gas, if you were swimming out in the sea,
Yeah.
and there was like an earthquake and some methane came out, you can't swim in it, you just sink.
Okay.
Even if you're a good swimmer.
What happens if you're two lads from your school, And they
big heads.
yeah, that's like a buoy.
Doesn't
So you can
work.
see them a mile off,
No, no,
and
no.
their webbed hands would get them into shore.
Because they did actually say, even if you're wearing a life jacket, if the water's full of methane, right,
You just
methane,
sink.
You just sink. So what it's saying is, boats have gone across the sea, got a load of methane in the sea, and the boat just sinks.
Right. What about the planes?
Is it then sort of planes with little sort of floaty things
Could
on?
be.
That'll be the sort they've landed in the sea.
Right.
And methane's coming.
Well, sorry, Carl. What did the documentary say? Not I imagine.
Yeah, your hypothesis might be
Yeah.
one thing.
What did they say on the
They
documentary?
didn't cover that bit. They didn't
cover
do
the planes.
They didn't do the planes.
Something else they said about it though.
Go on.
Loch Ness, the monster,
Sure.
probably doesn't exist.
Okay.
What it is,
Interesting. Hold on. Interesting. Oh, interesting.
Is-
What they thought the Loch Ness probably didn't exist.
Curious viewpoint.
Hold on. What proof have they got for that, Carl? How can they go around saying stupid things like that?
it's methane,
Right.
Again, in Loch Ness.
and people have seen. What's the lake it's in?
Loch
Loch Ness.
Yeah.
It being the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it lives. That's how it finds its way home.
That's certainly the
You're
clue.
never gonna
Yeah, if
Again, again, Carl,
yeah,
that's the clue.
Yeah, if you go, and it's if it's wondering, it goes, excuse me, would you know where I'm being the Loch Ness monster? Where would I be going? Oh, you'd be going to the Loch Ness if that's your home. It's away over there, you
So
big
anyway,
monster, you.
So the bubbles from the
Sure.
methane bubble up out of the water.
Yeah.
People think, oh god, it's a monster's head. But it's not, it's just water sort of shooting up because of the bubbles.
Well, that's two of the great mysteries of the universe solved by Karl P. on a Saturday afternoon.
That is fantastic. So that makes me think a lot of things. So you know, when mediums are sort of like going, "Oh, I've got something coming through." Do you think they are exhaling a lot of methane gas, and thus making them not think straight? Do you think everything's down to methane gas? Do you think that all the mysteries of the universe are down to methane gas, Carl? What did it say in the documentary you saw?
About what?
What was the budgie happy? We know that budgie was sad. Was it in a room? Because they used to take canaries down the mines, didn't they? They used to take canaries down the mines, they'd smell the methane, and then the budgie would be happy.
We'd like to try and educate Karl, Rick, as you know, as we have done since we've known him, really, and he doesn't really seem to absorb any information.
No.
And I was asked recently, when I was going back to Bristol, if I would come and talk to a classroom of school children.
All right.
You know, just talking about careers, and particularly my career. And I went down there. It was in Bristol. It was an inner city school, quite rough area.
You're a son of Bristol. You're
Exactly, they love me
You're a
down there,
celebrated son of Bristol. You're a Golden Globe winning person who's returned to the homeland.
It annoys me when I go down there that I'm not met as I get off the train like the Beatles used to be when they came back from America.
By
you
a
know?
mayor and a brass band.
Hordes of people, ticker tape.
Forever this day will be called Steve Merchant Day.
Exactly. It frustrates me that I just sneak back into town. There's no fanfare.
Yeah.
But basically, they asked me to come talk at this school, and I sort of batted them away and said I'm too busy. And so I foolishly left them the opportunity to ask me again, which they did, and I didn't have a decent excuse, so I went. And I was expecting to talk to maybe a room of sixth formers. They were 9. These kids, 9 and 10 years old. But I realised as I was walking into the school, I was suddenly really nervous. I was more nervous than anything I've ever done. Because I realised that I've not spoken to a child like that since I was a child myself. I've never interacted with them. So I didn't know at what level I would be able to pitch this talk. You know, I didn't know what they understood, what ideas they understood. Obviously, in my mind, I was picturing Karl, and then I was ratcheting it up a few years, sort of IQ-wise.
Yeah.
And I went in
So
there,
what did you talk to them about?
and I was supposed to talk about careers, and I realised very quickly that they didn't really understand conceptual
Did they
ideas.
know you were?
Not really. One or two of them vaguely knew. One of them went, "What's Rick Gervais like?" And I said,
You got a deep voice.
yeah. Actually, that was one of the teachers. And I'm supposed to be talking about careers, how to get into careers, and I start trying to explain the idea of being a writer, and I say that it's very important to be able to get inside other people's minds, you know, figure out how they think, and how, you know, and trying to understand other people. But this, they didn't really seem to grasp. They started talking amongst each other. You know, they were just losing interest. I lost them straight away. I was devastated.
Oh no.
So then, and this is the worst thing, right? I started lying to them. Because I realised that every time I told a slight lie, because I thought they'd be interested, they were. So I
I
carried
know
on lying.
Justin Timberlake.
You're not joking, right? They said, one of them said, "I understand you used to be a DJ," and I went, "Yeah, it's great being a DJ because you get to meet pop stars like Robbie Williams and Beyonce." Never met either of them. Never met them. And they went. One of the kids went, "What's Beyonce like?" and I went, jokingly, I went, "You wouldn't like her." And I said, I said, no, I'm joking. She's lovely, she's sweet, she's good as gold. I was making it up. But they were loving this, and the teacher was going, would you all like to meet Beyonce? And they were going, yeah, and I was thinking, God, well...
I'll bring her down tomorrow.
Well, exactly, but I don't know why I felt it was like I wanted to win the approval of these 9-year-olds.
That's amazing!
Because my own achievements, I realised, wouldn't mean anything to them. You know, I could talk about the people I have met, but they don't care if I've met Robert De Niro, but they're interested if I've met Girls Aloud. Or me and Girls Aloud, some of the times we've had together, it turns out. But it is fascinating when you have to interact with people, with children like that, because I've got no concept of how to talk to children. To me, I can't grasp the difference really in conversation and chat between, say, a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old. I don't know at what point they learn stuff and pick stuff up. Do they understand? Do you know what I mean? I find it really hard.
I remember once when I was about 9, the headmaster, deputy headmaster, used to do a little fable. I've talked about him in stand-up. He used to do a little fable. There's one I remember where he got a tube of toothpaste, and he got someone up. He said, "You, come out here. Squeeze this tube of toothpaste out on this board." And he squeezed it all out, right? And he squeezed it all out and emptied it. He went, "Now put it back in." And the kid tried to struggle, and he goes, "You can't do it." He said, "It's easier to do something than undo it." Okay, go back to class. Like, people are going, "Oh, I get it. I know what he means."
Yeah.
They're just thinking, don't squeeze all the toothpaste out.
Yeah.
Just save some.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's no way they're going to take on that
exactly.
metaphor at the
It's
age
too
of 9.
conceptual, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Just stop misbehaving or I'll smack you. That worked. Karl, have you had to have any dealings with kids? How do you get on with kids? Do you relate to them? Or are they just as angry and perplexed by your views as we are?
I mean, it's with everything, isn't it? Everyone's different and that. I can get on with some young kids alright, and some of them are, like, you know, a bit cocky and what have you. But, I'm sort of getting on with the baby at the moment, because I've been made a godfather.
Think of that.
So,
wow, who did they reject?
I know.
no, I mean,
Who said no?
Yeah.
How many people
well,
said no?
I did at first, and
Brilliant.
then Suzanne said, "Look, it's not really a choice. It's not like a job interview or something that you're thinking about. Is it a good thing? So you've been asked. You should take it on."
But what are they? What if they? Hold on. If you're the godfather of this
Yeah.
kid, presumably you're friends with them, and they probably listen to this
they're good
podcast.
friends.
So now they're hearing, for the first time, that you didn't want to be
Yeah,
godfather.
but I think that's good, because they can hear that, it wasn't. I didn't just do it because I was asked. I thought about it. I thought it through. I was worried. It was kind of like, is this a job? And I was just.
Well, it's
asking
nothing
her.
but tokenistic, is it? You're not.
Well,
really
this is what I looked into. We went back, and I said, right, I've been thinking about this thing. I've heard that it's my job. If anything happens to them, I've got to kick in. I'd have to start looking after the baby. So I said, right, how many of you are in your family? If that happens, am I going to start getting a phone call or what? And they said, no, there's a big family. You're not. You're at the bottom of the list. So I was like, how many? And just finding out what their age is. and I've only got a small flat. It would have to sleep in the sink or something, right? So I checked all that out, and all safe. So this baby, it's spooking me out a bit because it doesn't blink. And that's pretty weird when you're sort of talking to it and you're thinking, it's not blinking.
Are you sure it's not asleep?
No, honestly, it's weird. If something doesn't blink, it's like it's evil. Because blinking just makes something look a bit more friendly, doesn't it? And I was stood there, talking to it. I just tell it little stories about anything. It's lying there looking up at me.
How old is it?
It's must be about 2.5 months.
Well then, why are you telling it stories?
Because it likes it. But it's just weird how, then I'll sort of forget the story because I'm looking at it going, it's not blinked yet. It's been about 10 minutes, it's not blinking. So then I forget the end of the story and I just walk away because it's not bothered anyway. It's probably not listening, is it? But
What a pointless tale! What a pointless tale now and at the time.
I think it likes it. The kids like stories, like you say. They're not bothered if it's not true or anything.
Or if you walk away before the ending because you've forgotten it.
That's
Brilliant.
why it's not blinking. It's so dumbstruck at the idiocy coming out of your gob.
No, but you don't need to hear endings of stories. Maybe, like I said
That's
to
the
you.
point. That's the point of a story, isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
That's the point why people. That's why people like stories, because they're hooked into knowing what happened.
No, because there's loads of films that happen and they have a funny ending. You leave there going, I wonder what's meant to happen. And you make it up in your own head. You go, well, I bet what happened is that person went off and got married to that woman, and they lived happily.
And then in your head, it's the truth. It's actually what happened.
But I think that's better. Why are we told everything? Because
So what would your end be to a story such as The Elephant Man? Okay, he's rescued from the freak show, he's put in the hospital, he becomes something of a celebrity, then what happens?
He discovered he had big ears and he could fly, and he joined the circus, and he was the main attraction.
I wouldn't change the end that much, because at the end of the day, you can't make something up that's not believable. At the end of the day, he's got an head like an elephant. He's not going to have a good life, is he? So there's no point making out that he went on, loads of women fancied him, and he modelled hats. It's not going to happen. so he's got to die. The Elephant Man had to die, but at the same time,
Was shot by poachers.
show
for his tusks.
Show a few positives, because I'm sure there was good bits in his life. I don't know what they were, but look at everything.
What was he like when he was a little baby elephant?
They didn't cover what he was like as a kid, but you can get away with them sort of looks when you're a baby. You can be an ugly baby, and everyone goes, "Oh, isn't it nice?" There was some woman in a cafe the other week that I was sat in, and she came up and she sat down with a mate, and she was talking loudly, going on about, "Oh, the baby's lovely." They said it's got lovely big eyes, really big hands and feet. Now that doesn't sound like a nice baby to me. I felt like saying it sounds like a frog, but I thought, I don't know her. There's only so much you can say to a stranger. I don't know what kept me from saying it. That's what I was saying before about there's something.
It sounds like a frog.
There's something inside of you that stops you.
Yeah, that's amazing that you had the urge to go, that doesn't sound like a good baby. What, love? I'm just listening to conversation. That baby you're talking about sounds like a fucking frog.
Yeah, but something stopped him saying it.
Dandy Warhols, get off. Getting a little bit blasé now. Steve's just wandered off to make the tea.
He's talking to Dermot.
Is he not really, is he?
Yeah.
Is he just down there? Can he hear this?
Nah.
That is a bit shoddy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
I'm going to see Pop Idol tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think will win? Will or Gareth?
I don't care.
Do you really?
No, it was in.
Was I boring you? Sorry.
It was in Leicester Square, right? The little lad
Yeah.
in big coach with his head on the side.
Yeah.
I mean, how long's he been around?
Was it an accident?
No, but do you know like those ones that footballers have?
Big heads.
No, they're really big coaches. I mean, he's only a small
Big
lad.
coach, what,
I
like
don't know why he needs a
trainers, you mean?
big coach. Look, if you're just going to be like that, I'm not telling you.
Sorry, go on.
Big coach
Yeah.
with his head on the side, and he
Yeah.
came in and
His
he's
picture
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
side.
yeah. right, and about 200 kids screaming and going mental for him.
Really?
I just don't think it's right. No, it's not. I mean, it's been around for, what, a couple of weeks. And the way everyone keeps going on about his stuttering...
What, you think they should really concentrate on worshipping worthy sort of things like S Club 7 and A1 and...
Look...
Who have been around for a year?
So you pick on me when Steve's not
Well, it's
around.
only a joke, isn't it?
Steve-
Here he comes. Here he comes. He can't believe it.
But it's just the way, like, they keep going on about the stuttering.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Well, you were late. What are we meant to do?
Playing on a record.
Oh, we can't possibly go on without Steve. Oh, we need Sting. What?
Hey? See, that's the reason you should do it without me. That meant nothing. So, probably a good reason not to let you have this cup of tea. But I will anyway. I'm a
Thanks.
bloke.
Cheers. Thanks. Just saying that Karl thinks all this nonsense about Pop Idol is a little bit sort of shallow because they've not been around long enough to be worshipped by children.
Just saying there when you were talking to
Unlike
me,
Santa Claus, who's been around forever.
Yes.
he was in Leicester Square in a big coach of his own.
Who was?
Gareth, he's only a small lad. He had biggest coach I've ever seen.
A coach?
Yeah. One of those like National Express coaches.
He just probably come down from wherever it is he lives.
No, with his head on the side.
What?
We went through this.
His own coach, not like.
You mean like a
tourist
tour
one.
bus?
Yeah, but with his head on the side.
With his face on
so
the
it's
side?
his own coach.
Was he driving it?
Was he really nasty? Go, we can't have a toilet break yet. You had your chance.
Yeah.
Sit down.
It's just
Wait till we get the
the
services.
I'm finishing this fag, and then we're moving on.
And if you're not back from the toilets, I'm gone.
Yeah, it's a lovely restaurant here. All right, Jeff. What you know the people? Yeah, well, not my brother-in-law or anything.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't have been quite as snappy as that if he'd been saying all that.
No.
Yeah, well, that's it. Everyone keeps talking about the stuttering, but they never go on about his asthma, and he's got really bad asthma.
They
You're
don't.
right. You're right. We should attack the asthma more as well.
Do you think he's held that back for the final? Do you think he's bringing out the big guns for the final? Oh, and by the way, I've got.
Did you? There's a
Asthma.
bit
That's the way he does that.
Well, he's trying to. That's
That's
a
not
therapy.
asthma, Carl. That's him trying to breathe in order to help him speak.
That's a therapy.
Have you guessed about the asthma?
I thought
you read
you
that
read this or something. What you thought his asthma was because he goes. That's him. He has to do that to get over the. I have to take me back. That's a therapist.
I haven't got bad asthma then.
What if you ever have kids?
Maybe he hasn't got asthma.
When you
yet.
cross the road, don't bother looking both ways.
Yeah.
Just walk straight
I
across.
love that. Imagine a doctor saying that. Oh, not asthma. No, he does that. Has he? Oh, it's not asthma then. Okay, well, I'm stuck.
We better
then.
operate. When they
Yeah, well, don't operate. He's just he just fell over.
No,
Yeah.
I heard him breathing heavily. He's
Yeah.
probably got something lodged.
I've got a story about breathing heavily after this next record.
Really good.
Farrah Munch, got you. Although Steve thinks it's Farrah Monk.
It makes more sense, don't you think? Monch is a bit of a rubbish word, whereas monk, brilliant.
Yeah, but
Let's
it
not
is-
discuss it.
No, let's not get into a big highfalutin
Yeah, exactly.
phonetics argument.
No.
They can call themselves what they want.
That's up to them.
And good luck to them.
Yep, good guys, good guys.
Now, I am going to Pop Idol tonight.
Yep.
This is what started it until he said there was a young kid being screamed at by kids because he had his own coach with his head on the side.
Yeah.
You did sort of like.
I don't know where you're going though, Rick, because you know who's going to win. It's going to
No,
be Gareth, and there's no...
not necessarily.
Yes, it is, Rick. Oh, it is. There's
No.
Don't even fool yourself trying to drum up some excitement.
Well, look, wait. You see, they both got about the same vote, and Darius has got like 1.5 million. Now, I don't think the Darius vote was sort of like the Gareth sort of floating voters, because he's a cute kid and everything, and he
Do you
sort of
wanna
like
make a
looks like
wager?
a pop idol. And but he's not as good a musician. And I think maybe when people went for Darius, they were a bit kitsch. But I think they might.
Do you want to make a wager?
Oh, well, I bet Gareth will win.
Exactly. You see? You may as well stay home, Rick. You just want to go to meet PJ and Duncan.
Yeah, they call themselves out on deck nowadays.
Well, fair enough.
They're my
They'll
favourite.
always be PJ and Duncan to me, and they're
They're
brilliant.
brilliant. They
They're
are
absolutely
brilliant, aren't they? They're the best
But it seems to me
presenters.
there's no one else like on TV that kind of unites everyone. I don't think there's anyone really
No.
that can honestly say, if they're being honest, that they don't like Ant and Dec.
I know.
It's like there's no one else like it.
Phone
There's no
in if
one-
you don't like Ant and Dec.
And I'd like to hear your arguments for it, because I tell you,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying about this ironically. Oh, I like a couple of kids presenters ironically. I think they're genuinely good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're
yeah,
likeable.
they're
They're funny.
Yeah, and you can see
charming.
they've got a great relationship as well.
They've got that sort of Morecambe and Wise
Yeah.
every man appeal. They're
yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, well, we love Ant and Dec.
Did you see in the week there was what's his name? The fellow that Dominic Mohan in the Sun. He's the kind of entertainment guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had sort of 10 questions that should be answered about Pop Idol, because he thinks everyone's got a vested interest in Gareth winning. And there are various questions. One of which was, why is it that Gareth only seems to stutter when he's being interviewed live?
It's because he's nervous, isn't it?
Yeah. We've answered that one for you, Dominic. He was trying. You realised that he'd written a list and he didn't really have enough to fill up 10.
Although you were nasty about his stutter. You said it annoys you.
No, I'm not arguing that the stutter annoys me. His query was he thought that he was affecting the stutter
How
in order
can
to
you
win
be
in the sympathy
annoyed
vote.
at someone stuttering though?
Really annoys me because it's just embarrassing. It's cringeworthy. See, the thing is this: I know people say, it shouldn't be an issue, right? We're talking about a pop idol now. Everyone accepts the fact that he's got to be a good-looking guy to be a pop idol. We all accept that, and I'm saying I also want him to be able to speak properly to be my pop idol. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having a stutter.
But that's,
Likewise,
that's
I'm not
true.
saying there's anything wrong
No,
with being
that
ugly.
is true.
But
There
this
is true
the
that
criteria.
if there's a body fascism.
Yeah, there should
but-
also be a
but-
vocal fascism.
Yeah, but there's not a trauma if you don't look like a pop star. There is a trauma in society if you can't speak normally. So it's
What
a
do you mean
much
a trauma?
bigger issue.
His trauma.
Well, yeah, of course it is.
But, but it's not. I'm not arguing about what we think, because a lot of people think that a lot of people get abused if they're ugly. I mean, I'm guessing. I'm assuming that's the case.
Well, I can't speak very well.
No, I don't know if that's the case. But
We'd make one great pop star between
Well, I
us.
do think so.
My looks and your talkie. Although you sound like some sort of weird Wurzel.
I'm not trying to be a pop idol. People can idolise me in their own small way as a great radio presenter.
Dear. Oh, God. Look at us three. Imagine if we tried to be like BB Mac or Light Funky Ones. I'm just thinking of like three good-looking guys. Genesis.
Did I mention about when we were in America? Did I mention that last week?
The Police, no?
Did I mention this to you, Carl?
Oh,
Sure, I mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
When I was in America at a wedding, went to a wedding with some friends. We were walking through America, there's 5 of us walking down the street in New York, and a car pulls up, and some Chinese tourists lean out, and they went to us, "Excuse me, are you NSYNC?" And we said, "Yes, we are." And they were taking our photo and stuff.
Just think of Steve at the back, sort of like 2 foot taller than
Which
the others.
member of NSYNC is 2 foot taller than all the rest?
Don't Chinese people like tall people or something?
Right, play a record.
No, seriously.
No, because it's...
I don't think you know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Carl. We're likely to get in dangerous territory.
Yeah. Don't Chinese people like tall people?
There's something that... I'm sure. Do you know, like I was...
Phone in if you're Chinese and you like
Carl,
tall people.
what worries me is that when they did Chinese lessons, you were down the beach in Wales.
In Ruth Maddock.
Paul Maddock.
Paul Maddock.
Oh. Do you want to play Lou Reed?
Oh, this is Song for the Lovers. It's a beautiful track. It's Satellite Love. It's classic. It's gorgeous. It's Lou Reed.
Rick, can I dedicate this to someone?
Go on then.
Carl, you shouldn't have pressed the button.
Well, he's doing his job. You
No.
shouldn't have said, "Can I dedicate this to
We've
someone?"
had a letter.
Yeah.
Sophie wants to dedicate a song to her boyfriend Peter. They're firm fans of the show. Let's
right.
play Satellite of Love for them by
Yeah,
Lou Reed.
beautiful.
Song.
Song for the Lovers.
Don't ruin it this time, Carl. Oh, brilliant. How to ruin a song by Ricky Gervais. Do you want to explain what you were doing?
I was just singing along to the backing vocal.
You're not just singing along.
Doing it like a
Well,
mental.
just give us a blast.
Well, I haven't got my headphones on. I've got to do it in time, haven't I, now? Because wait, was it? Is it finished?
It's finished now.
And it was just going, when Bowie, well, Bowie goes, satellite, I was going, ah, like that.
Yeah. But in room 101, you're going to put irritating people.
I know, but it's something nice what making.
Are you going to climb down that little thing and climb in yourself?
It's sort of, yeah, maybe.
You know they have sort of a visual representation of the thing that irritates them. They always have that, like Shakespeare, there would be a bust of Shakespeare's head. Just a picture of you.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Oh dear. Bowie in the background, Satellite Love, Song for the Lovers.
Ruined.
I should have like sung along on air.
I love the idea of you when that came out, you know, sort of 17, got a girl back to your place, you know, just making out with her. Just that record's on in the background, you just go, ow! I'm gonna have to shoot off now, Rick. Ow! Hand me to it, I'll enjoy myself. Ow! I'll finish myself off. Ow!
Oh dear. Oh, you can't do that.
Oh, we've cheapened that song.
Oh.
You've ruined that song forever for me now.
No, I haven't.
But see, the thing about Lou Reed is, because Perfect Day, just a genius song, but we can never play it now, can we, because of that BBC ad?
No, because I'll tell you what's her name coming in at the end? M People.
Yeah.
That thing she does with her
Utterly ruined
voice.
That song. There's a couple of songs that have kind of, like I always remember,
And who's that one that goes, it's such a perfect day!
yeah, some
who's
kind of
that?
opera ponce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a song. Any other songs ruined because of their association with things? That song, First Time, which was on the Coke ad. First time, first love. Ruined now, 'cause that was on Coke.
Wasn't that Falling on Blondes?
Oh, that was Robin Givens, wasn't
Robin
it?
Givens, yeah. What was didn't Falling on Blondes do something like that?
No, not
I just keep seeing Falling on Blondes in the playlist.
I think Four Non-Blondes they ruined their own career by writing songs.
Yeah.
It's becoming a feature.
Yeah, we should play Falling on Blondes one week.
Rick, I was going to say something to you before we got sidetracked. What were we talking about, Carl? Oh, we were talking about,
We nearly lost it then a bit, but I think we pulled it back.
It's okay, no, we had a fascinating fact that we were going to
Oh yeah, if everyone in China, Carl...
This is true, Carl.
Right,
Carl,
listen to
wake
this.
up and listen.
Listen, if everyone in China jumped, it wouldn't be hard to coordinate. They did hands across America. They did up yours, the laws, right? We can coordinate this. We can get the sun involved or something, right? Everyone, 1.2 billion or something, jumped up and down at the same time.
Shut up. You're not explaining this clearly
It would
enough.
cause a tidal wave that would destroy America.
If every person in China jumped up at the same time, that would cause a tidal wave that would destroy America, apparently, according to physics.
According to physics.
I don't believe it.
It is, no, true, it's a fact. We're not making this up. We both know this
Yeah.
is a fact.
We're not making it up. We've heard it, but
Yeah.
obviously I don't know what that's based on. Someone going, Just had a terrible thought, Mr. President. What is it? No, you know the atomic bomb and all that? Yeah, forget it. Forget it. If everyone in China jumped up and down, they'd wipe us out. Right. You know what I mean?
See, there should be some Chinese leader just threatening them with that.
Yeah, just showing them a picture of everyone just poised.
just pictures of China people just crouching.
On pogo sticks.
Exactly.
Just a billion
Or
Chinese
just,
people.
Just all stood on the Great Wall of China, about to jump off. That'd be brilliant.
Oh,
See, look at Karl, he's dumbfounded, he's scared now.
He's scared now, ain't you?
But there's more chickens in the world than people.
Oh,
Play record.
well, that's brilliant. If you substantiate that, please get in touch.
White Stripes, fell in love with a girl, XFM 104.9, 1:05 of a Saturday. That's what DJs say.
Of a Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
a Saturday.
Fast approaching.
Yeah, time fast approaching 1:10. What do you mean it's fast approaching? What's it speeding up, is it? Time's speeding up as it gets towards 2:10. Shut up.
Ricky Gervais, obviously.
With him, Steve Merchant.
Yeah, and Karl
Let's
Pilkington.
not forget Karl P, the K-man.
He's growing on people now.
love him, people love him.
was thinking, oh God, he's too much. Now they're going, they love him. Like same as you. I mean, they still think you talk a little bit too much, but I mean, they love Karl. You know, but I shouldn't say that because it'll rock your confidence.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, yeah.
No, I am a man of nerves. Sorry, I'm sidetracked because I'm looking on the internet here, on the website for XFM.
Yeah.
Because
Bored?
I was, well, partly bored, but also I was looking on the other day. 'cause
Nothing
I
I said though, was it?
No,
Right.
no. And there were some people commenting on the show.
Yeah.
And one person on there, I'm trying to find it, I don't want to misquote them, but
Yeah.
basically, as far as I remember, they said that we knew even less about the music than the DJs that are on in the week.
Right. I think that is scientifically impossible.
Yeah.
So they've embarrassed themselves.
Exactly.
I think it's impossible.
You can't know less than the people that are on
I
in the
don't
week.
think so.
It's
I-
like, it's just,
I mean,
it's like, it's
I-
like trying to multiply zero. You
Yeah.
just end up with zero. It doesn't make sense.
I checked with Steve Taylor, the man with the knowledge. He should know. But
be a note,
I don't think that's really annoying.
It's so annoying because I'll tell you this, we are passionate about the music and we do know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Just because we don't read the back of the CD box
No,
like
and
Claire Sturgeon's
play
Orient
the
Camp.
list we're given with the 9 CDs that are on the playlist every month.
There's a piece of paper here.
The Carl's looking at me like he's thinking, oh no, we're having a go.
You've given away the magic of radio. You get pieces of paper here, and they've got little bits of details. So, for instance, White Stripes, this is the next single off White Blood Cells, February 2002. Now, it sounds like we know about the music. We
Yeah.
read that off a piece of paper.
Exactly. Whereas when we say about music and we're wrong, at least it's 'cause we didn't know.
Exactly.
See?
Alright? Don't criticise us.
Ash, there's a star. One of my bands of 2001, Ash.
Was it?
Yeah, they've come through. I didn't like them at first. Thought, a bit too lo-fi. But I think
are good,
they've worked at it. They do good songs. They're good performers, and I think they're probably thoroughly nice chaps.
Sure.
All right. We didn't say hello because we were away for a couple of weeks. We didn't come back and go, oh, we're back, did we? It's like nothing ever happened.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, you.
Yep. Carl?
Yeah, it's alright.
Lovely. Okay, let's crack on.
Good. I went on holiday after Christmas, yeah.
Yeah.
And so did our mutual friend, Phil Belker.
Yeah, good man.
He was in Lanzarote and he told me one of the funny. I don't know if I can tell this on the radio. I'll have to say the C word. I'll just go. It's in a sentence, so I just go you see when it comes, and you'll know that he's saying a terrible word. Just didn't want to ruin the anecdote. Anyway, they're walking along one evening in Lanzarote, and there's lots of Brits there apparently, and Phil overhears a sort of a married couple arguing. They're having to go home a bit early, and she's saying to him, she went, for Christ's sake, every time we come out drinking, you always shit yourself. Right?
Wow.
Always, not once. So he's going, I've told you, he said, it's not the drink, it's the weather. She went, the weather. You'll be blaming the food next, you see. I don't think they should have got married.
Wow.
Or when did you think the shitting themselves started? Must have been after the marriage, because if you're courting, and they go, went out with Derek again, did you last night? Yeah, how was it? The evening was lovely, the meal was nice, but he shut himself. Again. That's 5 dates, 5 different heaps of shit.
But I think I can change him.
I think I changed him, yeah. It must have happened after the marrying. Or he just might have think, oh God, or he's got to that age where I think, look, I'll just empty it when I get home.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep going up and going to the toilet, you know.
It's the ice that does it.
Karl is right, I think. It is the ice.
What do you mean?
People forget, you know, they say, oh, don't drink the water when you're on holiday, and they don't. They drink, you know, they buy Evian and stuff.
Oh, I
They
see.
forget about the ice.
The ice cubes, you're right, in a bar. Made from tap water.
And that can do it, can it?
Yeah.
But what she said every time you're drinking, didn't she?
I assume that she wasn't drinking ice then.
Yeah.
What, I mean, why is it just happened to
Well, let's
him?
be honest, everyone that goes on holiday doesn't end up crapping themselves.
Yeah, they usually make it
He
to a
does
toilet.
He does it every time he drinks, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, apparently.
Just don't let him carry the baguettes.
Ah, he's good, isn't he?
Oh, Karl comes out with
He
something.
does now and again,
High
doesn't
five,
he?
Karl. That was sweet, man.
Yeah,
Sweet.
nice one.
Yeah, respect you.
Right, we've got another feature now.
Yes, this is a feature which we introduced before Christmas, and it was so popular, we brought it into 2002 as well. And it's
We've
called-
carried it over with us. It's an interesting thing, and I don't think we'll ever run out of features for
I
it.
don't think so.
Go on, then what's the feature called, Steve?
It's rather brilliantly called A Song That I Like.
Yeah.
And in it, let me explain. 'cause
Go
it's
on,
quite complicated.
go on.
What I do is, in it, I play a song.
What, that you like, or?
That I like.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
so you just pick a few, let me go, I'm going to explain this. All the songs, right, there are, Karl, Steve likes some of them, he doesn't like others.
Exactly.
But for this particular feature, the only songs that'll be in this section will be the ones that he likes.
If you think you're going to hear songs that I don't like, you're wrong. Let me clear that out straight away.
Yeah.
Songs that I like.
What song have you chosen to play?
Thank you very much for asking. I have chosen, and it's something I've only been introduced to recently, but I did enjoy it, and it seemed, just felt contemporary. It's Patti Smith and the classic.
Oh, fantastic.
Play it, Karl.
Right, no, I'm going to interview Steve, you know, because I used to be a chat show host. Well, I am a chat show host.
Well,
Did you see me, Ricky Gervais?
no. I worked on it and I didn't watch it. No one watched it.
That's terrible.
No one watched
What
it.
do you think, Karl?
I loved it.
See?
Are you thinking of Parkinson?
And I didn't know Ricky then, so I'm being fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to interview Steve Merchant now.
Okay.
Live on air, XFM 104.9. We should say that more often.
Yes.
'Cause
Ricky
people-
Gervais.
Because they might tune, I think they've got a hospital radio by mistake. Yeah, Ricky Gervais. Yeah. Okay, Steve Merchant. Great to be here.
Thank you
Hi.
very much.
Now, you're a very tall man, if
Yes.
I might say. You're 6'7", aren't you?
Yes.
Was that a bit of a problem at school?
Well, yeah, a few jokes here and there.
Yeah,
A bit
okay.
of gentle ribbing, but nothing too problematic.
What's the weather like up there?
Well, exactly.
Skinny, all that sort of. Oh, you're lanky.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
dear. And
bit of that,
what about the glasses?
Well, I wear glasses, but again, that wasn't really a problem, you know.
They didn't
Again,
call you Four Eyes,
No,
really.
not really.
Didn't call you Four Eyes, freaky lank thing. They didn't call you Freak Pot, Freaky the freakish.
All right, I'm
gimp,
not sure I'm
four-eyed
enjoying this
git.
mix. Don't
What?
worry, I'm not
Well,
sure
I'm just
I'm-
saying they didn't do that.
As an interview, I'm not sure that's the best approach.
Okay, and then you
I'm
left
honest.
school. You left school.
Yeah.
You went to university. There were you called freaky,
No, I wasn't.
freak-eyed,
I've never been
four-eyed
called
git
freaky, four-eyed
thing?
git.
Are you sure?
Never been called it.
Were you called freaky, lanky, four-eyed, stupid hair, boggle-eyed freak face, fish face?
Is your chat show coming back? Is this what you? I never watched it. Is this what you said to people like? I mean, you had some big names on there, didn't you? Tony Hart.
Yeah.
That bloke off Ground Force.
Well, the problem was they'd either heard of me or they hadn't. Either way, they
Either
didn't
way,
want to.
it was a problem.
Yeah, it was a
Who
problem.
would you say was the biggest name you had?
They're all dead now.
Okay.
Probably the youngest one survived. I think Penny Smith is still with us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest name?
You had Savile.
Jimmy
You
Savile. I
had
thought.
Daniels, Paul.
Yeah, Paul Daniels. Yeah. Yeah.
But which was the biggest name would you say that you had on the show from the 1970s?
Peter Purvis.
Peter Purvis, of course.
He was a
Yeah.
joy.
No,
Yeah.
but
So that's just.
but
some-
it's not coming back though. That show. We're not.
No, not in that form. The Channel 4 wanted to see some changes.
What sort of changes?
Ratings.
Right.
Now I'm going to play a lovely track. Thanks, Steve Merchant.
Thank you.
I'm going to play a lovely track by Elvis Costello. I think one of his first hits, maybe even be his first hit back in the 70s. This is Red Shoes.
Gloria by Patti Smith. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it.
It's lovely to hear that again.
I've always been one of my favourite tracks.
And as Karl pointed out, sounds remarkably like, who did you mention?
PJ Harvey. Oh yeah, well, yeah, everyone knew that. She was obviously very influenced by her.
That's fine, that's fine.
That's all right. That's allowed.
That's cool.
I like PJ Harvey too.
Exactly.
There's enough room for two.
You're absolutely right.
Here we are then.
Let's just take a moment to think about what we've done, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's been good. It's
we've enjoyed
it's
ourselves
an
so far.
hour and 20 minutes. We've talked about shitting yourself.
We talked about pasties.
We've done pasties. We've done pasties.
A number of pastries, actually.
We never got the. We should learn a competition. Who's the tastiest cartoon ever?
Well, actually,
I threw
someone
up
did
She
contribute.
Terror. I threw up Jessica Rabbit.
I've had some people contribute here on
Go
the
on.
email. We've got someone here, Dom, has emailed us. He's told us that, for him, Daphne from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
Always
popular choice. Popular
And
choice.
obviously this is one I've never quite understood, Wilma from the Flintstones. I've actually always felt that Wilma, I don't know, I just thought she was a bit...
No, not
a bit
Wilma.
homely.
Betty, surely.
Yeah, Betty.
Well, this is what I mean, Wilma, I mean, yeah, Betty, surely, but Wilma? No, I mean,
it's
she's
like-
quite homely. But Betty, yeah.
Come on, Steve. You wouldn't say no to Wilma.
No, I suppose not.
If it was
I'd be worried about Fred, if he found out.
I would. Well, I'd hate to do it, you
I
know.
wouldn't want to do it to Fred, he's a good guy.
He is, isn't he? He's a bit of a jump. Whereas Barney, to be honest, I don't think he deserves Betty.
Do they both work in the quarry? Because, I mean, let's be honest, Fred, not a smart man. I mean, he obviously didn't come out of rock school with anything other than a couple of basic O-levels.
I know, but he's a hard-working, sound sort of
But
guy.
they got a big house, they got like a TV, they got that bird thing.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
got-
be honest, if I was Fred, I would be a little bit disappointed that my kid does nothing, whereas Barney's can lift up sort of tall buildings. Bam, bam. He's a very strong, you know.
I mean, interestingly, Fred loves his job. He's always yabba dabba doing at the end of the day.
He does
And he spent the
yabba
whole
dabba.
day lifting rocks from one place to
I'll
another.
tell you what, I wouldn't take that from that cat, though.
I would.
If a cat picked me up by the scruff neck and put me out,
Yeah.
right, on the doorstep, I'd
right.
go mental. I'd get rid of it.
I'd get
It is
rid
a
of
saber-toothed tiger, though, Carl, so it could rip him to shreds. It's not like a normal domestic cat you have nowadays.
You know when they go to the drive-in at the beginning?
Yeah.
And they order maybe some ribs.
Yeah, that
The woman
huge-
brings that huge rib, and it tips the car over.
Yeah.
Was that her first day on the job? Because
Yeah, it's
I've
got-
never been ordered before.
Yeah,
or
either it's
you'd have
that,
thought
or-
she'd have realised.
Or, yeah, we're out of pig. We've got brontosaurus rib. And he
Exactly.
goes, won't that knock the car over?
No, it won't.
I don't know.
Rick, can I tell you now? That was an accident waiting to happen.
It was really, wasn't it? Yeah.
And it did.
Oh, dear. Mind you, I went to Texas once, and I had some ribs, and it was like the Flintstones. It was huge. And not only did it look too much like an animal that I couldn't actually eat it, I don't know who could eat it. I mean, seriously, it was 2 foot long.
Yeah.
And all the it was like half a rib cage. And I
It is
just...
incredible. My friends lived in Texas for a while, and they once were in a kind of diner, and there was you know those kind of benches that are attached to the table
yeah.
itself, like a kind of picnic bench.
Yeah.
And this huge fat guy came in, he came wobbling, he ordered like this kind of everything you can eat meal, and his fat kind of sort of, you know, kind of
His big
wrapped
fatty
itself-
fat, and it's fatted on the fat table, yeah.
It wrapped itself round the table and everything.
Oh,
He was
God.
chowing down, and when he tried to leave, the table came up with him.
Oh, no.
Imagine that!
I mean, they are fat, aren't they?
They're big people.
They're huge people. But it was that thing we were talking about before, that bloke on Jerry Springer Show who was like 80 stone, right? Now, I felt quite sorry for him. He was really sad and he was crying. It is rad, but my point is this, right? When he got to say 50 stones,
Sure.
didn't he go, that's too much,
That's not
isn't it,
enough.
for a land animal?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's big, isn't it? I mean, I'm getting worried. I'm 13 stone, and I am genuinely getting worried. I'm thinking, oh,
Yeah,
God.
when you've got that big, when you've actually got your own mare,
yeah. When you
Yeah,
have
it's time.
when you have to get in helpers to look what the scale says.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 people lift up your belly and go, it's 52 stone. You go, that's too much.
Exactly.
That's too, I'm going to only have 9 breakfasts
when you actually,
today.
when you begin to appear on the Ordnance Survey map,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. When
You've
you
got your
can
own
see-
symbol.
It's like we can see 2 things from space now: Fatty and Steve Merchant. We'll be landing
All right,
at about.
well done.
Well, no, I'm just
Having
saying
a
at
go
all. You're
there.
not fat, aren't you? You're freakish and big.
just another
Go on.
quick thought. Someone's mentioned Daphne from Scooby-Doo, and but I've always had a soft spot for Velma.
Velma.
Because Velma
Oh
was
no.
glasses. I mean, I'd have
She's
had
clever.
Can I tell you what would have happened if I was in that environment? I was maybe on the Mystery
Your
Museum.
glasses would have got tangled
No,
up.
I'd have always had I'd always been making a play for Daphne, right? And Velma would have fancied me, but I'd
Yeah.
kind of always ignored it because I was playing for Daphne. And then when I finally realised it was never going to happen with Daphne, I'd have blown it with Velma. That's
Maybe
the story
not
of my
though.
life.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Sometimes those, you know, they might, you know, appreciate honesty. And go, listen, I've been hitting on the good-looking one.
Yeah,
Oi, Four Eyes.
yeah,
Do you fancy it, Chubbs?
exactly.
Something like
Let's
that.
be honest, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
I'm wondering. I don't mean to be libelous, but Velma, She was quite short, the glasses, the short hair.
Lesbian?
Hung around with the dog and
Lesbian?
the bloke. I'm beginning to wonder if she
Yeah.
was... Yeah, maybe.
I was like, see, unfortunately, I said lesbian there, and you still carried on with your assessment of what it is to be a lesbian. It's bad enough doing the cliches of having short hair, but you said the dog.
Yeah, well, she hangs around with a dog.
Do lesbians do that?
Well, have you seen some lesbians? They're right dogs. Good night. Have you seen what I've done there? You know what I've done there, Rick? Comedy award winning.
I think it can all go wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Of course it can. So can sitting in your little room moaning about nothing happening in the world. You know, he wanted to stop educating Ricky because nothing had happened. He said, look what happened last week. I scoured the net. He said, all I found was a dog in a car wash and a parrot and a vicar. Right?
I'll tell you what, there ain't much more going on this week.
We're talking... well, listen, me and Steve, yesterday, we took a day off to prove you wrong, and we've come up with two of the most incredible things I told you about, and they're amazing. So there are things out there, but just go for truth. Go for truth and science and discovery. The fact is stranger than fiction. You don't have to revert to sort of like God and ghosts.
I know, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But the funny thing is, you know, like, the last couple of weeks I've been saying there's not much going on.
Yeah.
I found out when I was looking that there was a day in 1930, right? It was a Good Friday, there was no news, there was nothing going on. They had to put a music video on or something on the telly because there was nothing going on.
Play a record. We're going to play some classic tracks today. This is Debaser.
I know what you're getting at with the educating Ricky, but you know.
Let's see.
You've got 3 titles.
Yeah.
That I tease you with different stories. You take your pick and I teach you something. That did happen.
That's a little bit of venom. Yeah, go on.
First one is don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
I bet that's bacon related, knowing you.
You've got enough is anus.
Say that again.
Enough is anus.
Enough is enough.
Well,
but it's changed to enough is an anus.
Yeah. And you've got
yeah.
You've also got will it be a bloke? Oh no. Will it like a bloke or a woman?
What?
Will it like a bloke or a woman?
Will it?
Yeah.
Will it like a bloke or a woman?
Wow.
Yeah, so they're your 3 stories today.
That sounds exciting.
Okay, well I'll have will it
we're going to play a record now, Rick, surely.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
And come back with...
Sorry about the crowds and the big baby.
Alright.
It's a valuable lesson learned.
I'll think of a title for him.
Right. So, 3 stories. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. Enough is anus. And we'll
have that one then.
That one?
Yeah.
Right, well, do you believe in palm reading and stuff?
No.
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, of course we do.
Right, well, there's a fella who, he used to do palm reading.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people, he found that when he went up to him in the street and said, do you want your palm reading? He was like, a lot of them were like, you know, oh, you know, I'm a bit ashamed of my nails and stuff because they're a labourer or they're a cleaner or something like that.
I know a lot of labourers are slightly embarrassed by their nails.
Yeah.
No, but...
Yeah.
So
if you look at my bloody hands, Reg.
Well...
That's that hod carrying.
Did I ever tell you that? Did I ever tell you that I got picked at school to make tea and serve biscuits to old people because I've got good nails?
No, go on. Is there any more to the story?
Well, that's about it. I mean, we used to do, like, I think the head teacher must have been getting something, maybe getting his mum in there for free or something in this old people's home. So, he offered the kids of the school, he said, right, all sit at your desk and put your hands on the table. And everyone did. And he walked past mine and he said, not bad, not bad. Yeah. And he said, you've got the afternoon off, you can go and serve biscuits and tea to the old people.
What did you say?
I said, alright then.
Was
good.
that? Yeah.
Good afternoon. But anyway, so these...
Yeah, what did you do?
He just sort of walked around and went, you alright, do you want bourbons or digest?
I bet you get on with old people, wouldn't you? I'd love to see... Maybe
especially the senile ones.
Yeah, no, but I'd love to see you on VH1, just in a link. They just go, you know, they've just played, Robert Palmer, right? And it comes to you in a little park, and you just sit next to an old lady and go, alright? And you go, yeah, not too bad. You go, what do you think of London? Crap, innit? And she goes, yeah, it's awful, innit? And you just have a talk, and you go, alright, well, she doesn't like it. In excess. Yeah. That's what I'd like to see.
I still think my idea is better, but... So what are you going for then? Oh, you've picked one, haven't you? Yeah, so this fella...
So there's palmists going around the streets.
Yeah, he's going round and
randomly trying to give palm readings.
They're losing money, hand over fist.
Yeah.
Alright, so, they said, he's what he's done, he's reading people's, bottoms now.
Sorry, whoa. You just, I didn't quite follow that. He was a palm reader. That wasn't making money. So now he's going up to people in the street and saying, "Can I see your arse?"
Basically, yeah.
So from being a palmist to an arsonist.
Well, they just, that's what he does. He said these same sort of lines and that you get on your hand, you get them on your bottom, and, he can read them.
Right.
Yeah, he's not a pervert or anything, or making up as he goes along.
No, that's it, that was that.
So, sorry, if a man came up to you in the street and said, "Can I have a look at your arse?"
Can I read your arse?
You'd drop your trousers, would you?
No. If he went up to him and they said, "Oh, I'd rather you didn't, because I'm a labourer. I've got bad fingernails."
No, that's why I've seen. That's what a lot of labourers, they're showing their cleavage. You think, but actually they're having their arse read.
Absolutely.
That's that's what it is.
And then, right.
So is that the end of the story?
Yeah. But then because...
That's it. Educating Ricky is there's a bloke who reads arses.
No, but
you're
then,
a mentalist.
But no, but
what are you talking about?
But then, do you know, like, now and again I come up with a little jokey line. Thought I'd make an effort today for VH1 or MTV.
Yeah.
Little line there. Don't worry, it won't last. It might just be a splash in the pan.
Okay.
Phil Collins next.
Yes, let's play some Phil. Let's play some Phil.
Right, so,
you better get that idea. Karl Zane Pilkington.
Educating Ricky, will we carry on?
Yeah.
Right, you've got left. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. And, will it like fellas or will it like women?
Well, you said wool before.
Yeah, will it.
Go on then, I'll have wool it.
Right, now this is similar to the one you were talking about before, right? They found out that,
They.
Yeah.
Scientists.
Oh, yeah.
I've found out
17th century?
that, like now, 1 in 10 rams are gay.
1 in 10 rams are gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like, wool it. That's how I could get that in. They got a load of gay and straight rams.
Right.
They worked out which were which first. They said, right, that bunch there is a gay bunch.
They looked better, they just had more pride in their appearance.
And the other ones, you know, the straight ones. And then they gave them to this scientist and said, right, go on, do what you've got to do. And they took the brains out of all of them.
Just to check.
And, they did tests on the brain, and it worked out that they've got something smaller in the brain. The gay ones have got something in the brain that makes it smaller. And they said, right, well, that's probably how it's gonna work on males. On like, males and females and, like, humans.
So you took from this that gays have smaller brains than straight people?
No, there's something in the brain.
Right, go on.
So if someone's saying, you know, oh, I'm a gay, or they're not sure or whatever, they will now be able to find out.
So you can go to the doctor and to find out if you're straight or gay.
Is there any gay in my brain? Let's have a look. Do. You've got a little bit of a gay in you, yes. A little bit of gay in there. Yes, you've got the, you've got a little bent cell there.
Well, that's why they did it, anyway.
I don't understand how they could differentiate which were straight and which were gay to begin with, before they then gave it to the scientist. Wasn't that what the scientists figured out? How could they tell?
There's one theory that it's genetically determined. There is one. There is a theory that's genetically determined, but I don't think it's as easy as pulling a sheep's brain apart and finding a little pink sort of like blob in there and going, right, we've taken the guy out, now he's going to go and shag some ewes. I don't think it's that straightforward. Although homosexuality does occur at a similar sort of rate in animals, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you knew that, didn't you?
So that's that one. I mean,
I just like the idea of the farmer figuring out which is straight and gay. Well, that one's wearing quite a camp-looking neckerchief.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking maybe he's gay.
Is that? Yeah. I love the fact they can.
That was a big fan of Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
Yeah. They would. They put on ABBA and see which ones dance.
Exactly.
That's how they.
Which one? Yeah.
Well,
Put on like Barbra Streisand and see which ones sing along.
It is rubbish. What did I find out?
What did you say? Did you just say that is rubbish?
No, I found out other stuff in the week that didn't make the top 3.
Wow.
Wow. We haven't even had the...
This must be mediocre stuff. This must be really bad.
Yeah, or it might be dubious. Go on.
There's a woman in Ireland who has been with a fella for 11 years.
Yeah.
She always saying to him, you know, when are we going to get married and that? And he's like, oh, we don't need to. You know, we're happy and that. Do you know, like I am with Suzanne, it's like, there's no point, really.
Yeah.
Unless you have a kid, I don't think you need to, do you?
Right.
So, he was like, we'll do it in time and all that. Anyway, he comes home from work one day. He says, oh, go on then, we'll get married. She was so shocked, her hair fell out.
Oh, did you get that? Wow.
So...
That's extraordinary.
And what did he say? Oh, I'm not marrying you, Baldy.
Yeah. Well...
She was so shocked her hair fell out.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it just going to the ground.
Fell out, yeah.
Yeah, what else?
Right, that's rubbish. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. Next.
You've also got,
It's weird, isn't it, Rick, that the stories that we made up are more plausible than the facts he's actually giving
I think we tried too hard. I think we tried too...
That's what he's willing to believe. He's willing to believe that a woman's hair fell out when her husband came out saying, let's get married then. Oh, you old romantic.
Well, yeah, then, here's a good one.
Go on then.
Right, in Dubai, this woman went to Dubai for a holiday. And, she was over there, and apparently in the markets...
Bit by a spider?
They sell lizards.
Oh, go on.
Right, just like for people to buy. So she buys one, not knowing that you're not really meant to take him out of the country.
Sure.
Puts it in a bag.
Yeah. As you do.
What have you? And, then she gets to the airport when she's going home, she's thinking, I can't really leave it in my bag. So she puts it on her head.
On her head?
Wears it as a hat.
She wore the lizard as a hat?
Yeah. People on the plane were just like, yeah, everything's fine, you know, they're doing the cross-checks and that.
Yeah.
Have you got your seatbelt on? Yeah.
There's a woman there with a lizard hat.
Everything's going well. She gets off the plane at Manchester Airport. Lizard sticks its tongue out.
Yeah.
The air hostess says, what are you doing with that? She goes, I've had it.
Lizard said, I just found her in Dubai.
They said, I've had this with me all journey, and they said, well, you shouldn't have done, and they took it off her.
Yeah, I think that is true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about that?
Yeah, good, yeah. Yeah. That educated me. Right, what, any more?
Well, what's that taught you? That's taught you, you know, be careful when smuggling lizards back as some kind of hat.
Yeah, just say, lizard, keep your tongue in, you twat. Not at the customs officer! Yeah.
And, what else have we got?
Anyone didn't quite make it?
Anything to declare? I've got a lizard on my head.
We've got an old saying one, if you want that.
Go on then.
Are these ones, sorry, are these ones that didn't make the list?
These are ones that didn't make it.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I always get more in than I need to, just in case.
Just think if someone's just tuned in now. Is Anders listening? Is,
well, I'll tell you,
Dickie Anderson.
I've got an email from Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson.
Go on.
The Dick Machine, which...
the big dick.
The big dick, which... now, this is interesting. I think we're wearing him down. Ricky, I think your show might be improving.
Go on.
That sense of despair and loneliness I normally feel when listening to your show doesn't seem so bad today.
He's desensitised to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he's given up.
Him down.
Or he's just given up. Yeah. I mean, you listen to this long enough and your standards will drop.
Let's play a tune. Let's come back with some more Karl's, I don't want to use the word facts.
No, he's got more screen testing now. The camera's ready for you. Yeah.
Right, so
let's get out of this house.
We've got one more.
Go on.
Educating Ricky to.
Go on, and quick then. I need educating.
Right. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
How was he going to outwit Darren Brown? You said something in the break.
Oh, I have to say, yeah, Darren Brown, who, we bumped into as well, and he did this incredible trick where he puts £40 down on the table. He says, I can tell you which hand you've got a £1 coin in, let's say 5 times out of 5, you know, so I have a £1 coin in one hand, I put it behind my back, I bring my hands out, and he can tell me every single time which hand it's in by asking questions, by doing various
Well, he
things.
doesn't ask, but he just goes, no, you might have it in that one, you might do the same again, but then you're an intelligent person, you're probably not where he goes, so it's in that one, and he does it every time. It's incredible.
It's absolutely majestic. I mentioned this to Karl.
Yeah.
And, well, Karl, you tell me how you think you could outwit Darren Brown. Because your dad used to do this trick, you told me.
My dad used to play this.
Yeah. How old were you?
Dunno, probably about 10.
So you probably weren't as sharp as you were now, then?
So he used to play it, and the way of telling what hand he's got it in, his hand looks bigger. So that's all you've got to do.
That's how he did it then!
Yeah. So to catch Darren out. So to catch
It was a bit
Darren out.
different because he did it with golf balls, but
But to catch Darren out, Carl told me, Rick,
He did it with a spud.
to catch Darren out, the hand which hasn't got the coin in, just make it slightly bigger. just like extend it slightly, so it's slightly larger, and that'll catch Darren out. He'll never be able to stop
That's
that.
how he did it.
or just put a pound in each hand and wind him up. Just go, no, you're wrong.
You are brilliant, Carl.
Yeah.
Do this one.
Did your dad used to do the one where he takes your nose off of your face and puts it between his fingers?
Did you keep going to the doctors?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Right.
You know how that's done? You know he's not actually taking your nose
It's his
off.
thumb. Go
It
on.
is his thumb.
Last one.
Yeah.
Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. It's been a mess today, hasn't it?
What do you mean it's been a mess?
It's been a mess.
What has?
This.
What? The show?
Yeah.
How has it been any worse?
It's just all over the place. There's no sort of, it's not tight like it normally is. And she'll be going away with this, thinking that's what the show would be like.
She listens
On
to the show.
MTV.
She knows it's a shambles every week. Go on.
Well, don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
Yeah.
Do you know the saying, ham it up?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Right, well, do you know what it means?
Well, it means to overact.
Right. Well, years ago, with actors in musicals and stuff, they'd, the actors used to look pretty ill on the stage because they didn't have proper makeup and that.
Right.
Right. So, what they used to do, to make themselves look
Rub their face in pigs?
well, they got bacon, rubbed it on the face, and it made the face a bit sticky because of all the, like, you know, the pig fat and bit of lard and stuff like that. And then they'd go and get some bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah, house bricks. Rub them together, make some sort of red dust from the brick, and then put the dust on the face. And the fat and the lard and that would make the dust stick to the face. And they'd look well under the lights. And that's where the
They'd
saying...
smell great as well.
Yeah, well...
Lovely. Everyone likes the smell of bacon.
No, but so that's the old ham it up. That's where
like
it
that.
comes from.
You know, if it's true, I've no reason to think that it's not.
So that's your third educating Ricky today. So what have you learned?
Nothing. Absolutely sod all.
You've got your hamming it up.
Yeah.
Rams are gay. They know which ones are gay now.
Now!
And
At last, thank God.
the fella who can hand read an arse.
If you missed the rest of the show, what are you going to make of that? Have you just tuned in?
You are a maniac, Carl.
Professional. I was having a cup of tea. 100 Reasons here on XFM 104.9, just gone half 2.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, with Steve Merchant.
Hi.
Alright?
Rick, we've got a couple of emails in here, and they're saying they enjoyed your performance over the Christmas period on a programme called 100 Greatest TV Moments.
Yeah.
Did you do an interview or something? What was the deal? I didn't see this.
Yeah, the Office was in there, wasn't it? And I was interviewed for it.
But what are they talking about with they enjoyed your performance? Come on, tell me
You
what it
know,
is.
do you?
No, I
That's
don't.
what, it's the thing that I did on Razzmatazz.
Oh, is this where they found a clip or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah. No, alright, I was in a band, and we had one single out or something, and I did one TV appearance when I was about, oh god, and they showed a bit of it, about 7 seconds, me on Razzmatazz. Oh god.
Razzmatazz, for those that don't remember, was like a kind of, I suppose, what was it, like a kind
Kids.
of CD UK of its time?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And, oh god. And it was of the time, sort of new romantic,
And they showed a clip of this?
I looked about 10 and about 5 stone with hair and makeup and girly clothes. My sister actually said I looked like Posh Spice.
Brilliant.
Which is, there's a funny story about that, right? Because we were rushed and we had to do this thing, and we, oh god, and we were meant to take a flight to Newcastle, and
Where were you travelling from, London?
yeah, but we got there, and we didn't have tickets, we were told to be there, but the A&R man overslept, right, for the record company, overslept, and it was terrible, and we were fretting, and eventually it was too late to get the plane, we missed the plane, we had to get a train, and it was really cutting it fine, they were back and forth, going, yeah, if they come now, we can still do it, we're going to miss it, and this was like a big promotional thing, and we got there, and they went, oh, God, right? And I had this sort of like jumpsuit I was wearing that I'd cut off, put that on backwards.
A jumpsuit?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I know, it
this
was
what was
bad.
on the clip?
Yeah, I had that on back to front, and there was no time, and I think I even mimed wrong at one point, and it was awful. But the funny story is this, that when we were there, we didn't have our tickets.
This was at the airport.
We bumped into Bucks Fizz. the guys and girls from Bucks Fizz and their manager, so there's like 5 of them, right? And there's 2 of us, and they had 5 tickets. And Bucks Fizz tried to smuggle us through. And so they went through the things, right? And they went, tickets please. And he just waved 5 tickets that he had, like that, goes, this is us, right? And they went, well, can I have a look at them? And they went, there's only 5 here. And they just looked at us and went, sorry lads, we tried. We were nearly smuggled through.
By Bobby. Karl.
They couldn't even with their powers, they were at the height of their powers.
That was like make-believe time.
They'd already done making your mind up. I thought if anyone can get us through customs check, it was the Fizz. But even the Fizz
what I like
could
though,
not
that
get us
reassures me, I have to say, about kind of airplane travel. You know, in these kind of troubled times, it's nice to know that even someone like Bucks Fizz couldn't get, smuggle someone through.
That's good, because even, the top security man went, hold on, there's 5 in the Fizz, there's 5 tickets, those 2 lads are not going through.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes you more secure about air travel now.
Well, it's lovely if I'm in America, and I see 5-star, trying to get through customs.
With 2 other lads.
Exactly, I think, wait a minute, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, security guy stopped him, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
You know there's only 5 in 5-star.
Oh.
It's lovely to know that.
Yeah.
I love the fact, and did you know the Fizz previously? Was this your first run-in with the Fizz?
No, they were doing the Taz, same as us, they were doing the old Raz, same as us.
Did you recognise the Fizz and go, oh my god, that's the Fizz, let's try and sneak in with them, or did they recognise you? How did it work?
They wouldn't have recognised us.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. I love the audacity of going up to Bucks Fizz and saying, try and smuggle us in. You try and break aviation law for us.
Now, now it's time to make your mind up. We're going to the land of make-believe. I did that and they laughed, they went, brilliant. We'll get you through, lads. Yeah. Just stay tight. I was actually on top of Bobby's shoulders in a long coat.
Lovely.
Yeah, but Bill...
Well, seriously though, I don't understand what their plan was.
Like they would have gone, yep, through.
It's the Fizz, let them through.
Yeah.
Don't bother checking the...
It's like, wasn't even answering, we couldn't even get to Newcastle.
Do you think it was wearing your jumpsuit backwards that sort of gave it away?
Well, no, but see, I didn't have it on then. I was just in civvies. I just had jeans and a t-shirt then. I didn't even have my hair gelled. I was just like cash.
I saw it. I thought it looked all right.
Did you?
Did you?
Well, I mean, for
then you
in a tight jumpsuit.
Yeah,
cheekbones.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I had some cheekbones. Yeah, that was the.
If anyone else saw it, or maybe they taped it and they've got a clip, because I'd love to see it. I missed it.
Well, I'll get you one.
If you have it, put it. I'll tell you what. Why not create a website? And put that clip on there on a constant loop, and then send the address in, and I'll give it out, and people can check it out for themselves.
Yeah, brilliant.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll have to lose weight now.
Yeah.
First of the game to die, Morrissey, XFM 104.9, and Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Well, Karl, you failed miserably. The scientist stuck away. Right, one more chance. What's happened in the last couple of weeks? Just one more chance to... What have you seen in the last couple of weeks?
Well, like I say, I don't really watch the news and that, so I can't tell them about that. But in a way, I think they're better off not knowing. I think that's the only good thing about being out there, isn't it? Not knowing about the bad stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I can't help them there.
They don't need to look at the weather, do they?
No, don't you know? No. But tell you about the Pope and that.
Yeah, you've pretty extensive.
What about the EU Constitution and the no votes? What do you make of that? What are your views?
What's the problem there?
Oh, this isn't broadcasting though, is it? This is nothing. Come up with something.
Well, the fat baby then, the fat baby that they found, that was on the telly.
Right. Well, what was that?
It's just a little fat baby. That, I don't know what, it's just a little fat kid and that.
What? Tell what?
It was on the telly, it was on the telly and
But what was on the telly? You just said fat baby, fat baby, fat baby, fat baby on telly, fat baby on telly. Do you meant to be telling them what's happened in the world? Tell me about the fat baby on telly.
It's just they've found some, there's this illness called Momo, right? And, they've just got this woman had a kid. It's really sad, it was on Channel 4 and that, right? And, kid's born.
You sure it wasn't Jimmy Carr?
Kid's born and that, right?
Momo?
It's called Momo,
Isn't that
yeah.
that Black Music Award?
No, right, little fat baby and that, and, there's only 3 of them in the world. These little fat babies.
Right.
And,
So
one of them...
they're in danger.
How fat? Are you not telling what do you mean? How fat are they?
6 stone it was only 2. And there's 3 of them in the world, and there was this one, and there was one in Brazil.
Are they like endangered? Is that the problem? Because there's only 3 of them in the world. I'm a bit worried. This is like a conservation campaign.
They're hunted for their flesh.
No, it's sad. I know, it's easy to joke on that, but if you've seen it, you'd go, it's a bit sad on that.
Well, I haven't seen it, and I know nothing about it.
Well, I've told you, there's 3 of them in the world.
Okay, what else was on telly?
Something I watched the other night, that was just good. Again, you know, I learn stuff from the telly. I don't watch the news.
Well, you don't learn stuff from the telly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though.
You told us there's a fat baby in the world.
Forget about them.
There's a spider eats chickens, and there was a fat kid.
Forget them in Iceland, right?
Yeah.
We'll give them Rockbusters later to do, right?
Iceland!
But what's her name? I'll tell you what is interesting, Steve.
What?
I didn't know that much about it. Autism.
Okay. Oh, good. There's some more entertaining stuff on XFM 104.9. Just to cheer up people. Go on, and what? Come on.
No, right. Have you heard about it, Steve? What
autism?
It scares me to death when he comes up, when he touches on a serious subject. We've been talking about wheeling a dead pope round, the Chinese don't age well, and ginger people are hated, and now we're going to touch on a really, I mean,
no,
my heart's in my throat. Go on, Karl, then tell me your insights to autism.
Right, well, there was this, again, Channel 4 coming up with some good stuff at the moment, right? It might have been Channel 5. But what's the name? It was
it's the attention span I like!
It's these people who, they've got like this autism thing going on.
Yeah.
And, they sort of take in a lot of information, they get sort of they get so into it that they know everything about that subject and what have you, right? And there was this lad who, he knew everything, right, about EastEnders.
Right.
He sort of, the cameraman was saying to him, so, you know, why EastEnders and that? And he said, oh, I don't know, I just like it. And he said, I remember when I first watched it was a Thursday, it was 5 to 8, Pauline Fowler walked in, she had a pink jumper on, she said, alright, love. And he remembers everything from that moment on.
Yeah.
Right, and everything. Which is great, but then, the way the programme was making out, it was almost like they were saying it's a disability.
Right.
When in a way, it's more like a superpower.
Sure. Like Rain Man.
Well, if you can take
it's Rain Man.
No, I'm
he
not.
has special autistic powers.
Oh God!
We must send for Rain Man.
I don't know what to do.
So he would be a great contestant on Mastermind. Sort of autistic Mastermind. He'd be
what
dynamite.
I'm saying is, don't be watching EastEnders though. Sort of, why didn't they give him an encyclopedia and say, get into that?
Sure.
That'll be useful.
Yeah.
Keep him away from EastEnders. Wasting his time there. But I don't think it is a disability.
No.
Yeah, there are other things, and they're not. It's also autism is a matter of degrees. From what I know, and I'm sorry to have to do this, but I feel that I have to at least be the voice of reason, as ill-educated as I am on the subject. But I think there's degrees of autism. I think some are higher performance than others. There's other issues with it. It's not they're just got good memories. They don't go around doing tricks for people because they can remember stuff. There are other issues with it. Do you know what I mean?
Right, well, I mean, they seemed a bit...
You watched the programme, what did you learn? That he knows when Pauline Fowler came in?
Yeah, I mean, there was other bits where they couldn't control their emotions and stuff.
Oh, that other little bit, yeah.
But the main bit of it was he can soak up information and stuff, and I'm just saying, it didn't seem really bad. Do you know what I mean? There's disabilities where people say that's a bad disability. It's like how people say about,
This is brilliant. This is just like this is amazing to be in the room with this man. It's incredible. You just wind him up and listen to what comes out. And no, I'm going to sit back now. I'm not going to defend you or explain anything. Just go on and tell me about the other disabilities that are worse.
No, what I mean is how people can sometimes easily get mixed up. How people are scared of like a cyclop. When at the end of the day, he's got a disability. A bloke
Who's scared of a cyclop?
No, it's
apart
just
from Jason and his Argonauts. Where's this cyclop that you're scared of?
No, I'm just saying in history and in books and that.
No, not in history. History happened.
Yeah. But
what are you thinking of? You're mixing history with Greek mythology and Roman mythology and every other type of mythology. What do you mean there wasn't really a giant cyclop that went round picking up ships and throwing them around? That's not history, Karl. Do you think Batman's history?
No, but it was ages ago, wasn't it, when we were sort of...
No, I'm not saying it didn't happen ages ago, I'm saying it didn't happen.
Well, it might have done. There's no... I mean, what's so ridiculous about a fellow with one eye?
in the middle of his head, and he's big and scary and lives in a
Why is he
cave.
scary? Because he's got. What if he had 8 eyes? I'd be scared of him. At the end of the day, he's got a disability. Oh, we'll talk about it in a bit.
Do you know what he said to me the other day? This is unbelievable. This is one of the most stupid, incredible things I've ever heard. He was talking, and he suddenly stopped, and he was thinking about it, and he went, oh, I went, what? He went, you'd never see a black ghost.
Extraordinary.
True, though, isn't it?
I've never seen a ghost, full stop.
There are no ghosts. There aren't ghosts.
No, I mean when you just see him in, like, magazines and that.
Play a record!
Right, there's this fellow, I think it happened in America, and he saw a bright light in the sky. And,
Karl, if you're bored.
and he stood there.
This is a true story, is it?
Yeah. He stood there,
Yes, of course it isn't, Steve.
and he saw this bright light, and it came closer and closer, and it was a UFO, right?
Yep.
And he looked at it, and it disappeared, right? And he gets back in his car,
He looks in the mirror.
and he looks in the mirror.
Yep.
He's only got a beard,
He has.
right?
What?
And it turned out,
Yeah.
he got home and said to his wife or his girlfriend, it's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and I grew a beard, and she said, never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days? And what had happened is,
He passed out because he was pissed.
no, the UFO had taken him for 3 days,
Yeah.
but he'd only thought that he'd only looked at it and it went away.
Yeah.
But what had happened is,
yeah.
it took him, and
Yeah.
he grew a beard because he hasn't had a shave.
Right, okay. I mean, was Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones anything to do with this at all? Did you see this on a video, maybe, and thought it was an educational film?
No, it's from a book that some kind person sent in to me. Here.
Can I just ask again, just again, I'm just throwing this right back at you. Do you think there's any other possible answer here? Right? A man is absent for 3 days from home.
He's
the
grown a
length
beard.
of time that it could take to grow a beard, lest we forget. What if he hadn't actually seen a bright light in the sky?
What if he
he'd
was
been
lying? What if
drunk?
he was lying?
He'd got knocked unconscious. He'd had a car crash.
Just
any number
lying.
of other
No,
things.
just lying.
Or he was just lying.
Yeah, he'd been on a bender, getting pissed for 3
Yeah,
days
and that
with
was
his
his
mates.
excuse to his wife.
And they went, Dennis, what are you gonna tell your wife?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, wait a minute,
Hang on,
wait.
She's not going to believe I was out with you, lads.
Just say you're only away for a minute. No, I wasn't away from it because of the beard. Oh yeah, look, it looks like you've been out for 3 days. Well, we have, that's...
Exactly.
Right, okay, we've got to cover that then. Alien abduction?
Great one.
Okay, let's try that.
Do you see? That's a little scenario there that could have been played out.
So, when you say educating Ricky, what have I learnt from this? Never listen to you again. That's all I've learnt so far. Never listen to you.
Yeah, we'll add a little bit more in here, right? To
Well,
spice this
no,
up.
what do you mean add a little bit more?
We'll add a bit more to this what I'm educating you about,
Go on.
right? There's only a law in America that says if you touch a UFO, you're going to get done. Now, why would they make a rule? I don't know that. Do you know, like, all their rules have a code?
Karl, I genuinely do not know what you're talking about.
Right. Do you know, like, how here they might have...
Do you know
I
what...
have no idea.
Right,
okay.
Do you know, like, over
Rick,
here...
I'm listening to Capital on these headphones. I got Foxy on from yesterday.
Right, let's bin that. There was a thing on about Dracula,
Right. What, Dracula?
and I found a flaw in it.
Go on.
Not the fact that he's the living dead and
No.
and drinks blood to stay alive and he doesn't reflect
And he can
in
turn into a
mirrors.
bat.
Well,
And you can... Go on.
the mirror thing, you can't look in mirrors, can he?
Well, he can look in mirrors, but he can't see himself in a mirror.
Yeah.
Right, that still doesn't work.
Go
Okay,
on.
go on.
It doesn't work at all, Karl. It doesn't work
Go
anyway.
on.
Well,
Centre parting's always really neat.
His centre parting's always really
how
neat.
does he do it if he can't look in the mirror?
Blood on the floor or something it was called. Rubbish.
I love the flaw in the Dracula film is that his centre parting's too neat. How does he do it without a mirror? Oh.
Was it a documentary about Dracula?
No,
Yeah,
there was
the real
it's
Dracula, the real
called-
Dracula.
Yeah, the real Dracula, the
It's
true
just a
Dracula.
film. It had blood on the floor or something. It's called.
Yeah.
It's rubbish. From 1970.
Yeah.
Right, but you
know-
stayed up and watched that.
You know there aren't
Yeah,
really
that's right.
vampires in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still annoys you that his centre parting was too neat.
Well, if you're going to do it, do you know what I mean?
I'd like to see him with a fringe sort of pushed forward and maybe a hood up, alright?
come to suck your blood and that, alright?
Yeah, just bits of tissue paper all over his face where he's cut himself shaving.
I can't see it. Bloody mirrors annoying me now, isn't it? I'd love to see that. A little mank Drac. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Well, that might be a film that we do in our movie.
Mancula.
Just getting onto that.
Mancula. Count Mancula. Alright? You got any rave? You got any rave music, huh? Got any Oasis or that? That'd be brilliant. He came from Manchester. Please welcome Mancula. Alright? That'd be great, wouldn't it? His hair's a mess. Well, I can't see a mirror, can I?
There's a shadow somewhere.
It's already good, isn't it?
I'm loving it already.
No, right. There's a shadow. I think it was in America.
Yeah.
And it's on a quiet road. I'm guessing somewhere like Boston. That's what you mentioned.
Okay.
Right?
No.
Somewhere like Boston. And people at night used to see this shadow moving about. And they'd go, what's that? Right? And it got known, the town, the little local town got known for this shadow, but it didn't cause any problems. People
What are you talking about?
Well, it was
Just
like,
you've lost me.
What are you talking
no,
about?
do you know, like, some places get famous, like, Scotland's got the Loch Ness Monster and that, but it doesn't
go
cause
on,
any,
yeah.
but it doesn't cause any problems.
Doesn't exist, go on.
Right, so there's this shadow walking about on the road.
What do you mean? No, what's he, again? Rubbish.
Right, so it's walking
Nonsense.
about.
Where did you read this? Where did you
It's
see
walking
this?
about, this was on the internet, and I'm sure.
Sorry! Sorry!
Right.
I thought it was shite. I didn't know it was on the internet.
Right, so this shadow is moving about, and,
Independently of an object.
yeah, and the local mayor and that is like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's not harming anyone.
The mayor involved!
Was he elected to that post?
Hey, mayor, we got a problem down here. Seems like a shadow. Well, it's not causing any. No, it's
Is
just
it causing any problems?
yeah. Go on.
But that's the thing, it was left for years, and then it did start causing problems.
I see, that's it. If you leave these shadows to go unchecked, Rick, they go crazy.
Yeah.
You let them run amok in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
You've got to stand
What
around
did it do?
on
What did it
Roman
do?
shadows.
What did the shadow do?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
It was what?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
Oh!
I'll find out more for that next week. Right, that'll tease
Oh,
them.
you're a maniac!
We'll do more on that. We haven't had time for
Please
educating.
never have children.
Right, listen.
Now this could be interesting.
Now that noise. Do you want to explain, Steve?
I will. I've just sent a text to this number that some of you may have heard of, 63336. Now, apparently this is a number you can send a text to, and it will answer any question that you have for it. And in the past, for instance, I sent it quite profound questions. I once asked it, should they have dropped the second bomb on Nagasaki, and it had a very thoughtful answer. So we've sent it a question, perhaps equally thoughtful. Karl Pilkington believes in ghosts. Is he an idiot?
Karl, do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen, like, a proper ghost.
So why do you believe in something that there's no evidence for?
Yeah,
You
but why are we here then? If it is just sort of, you're born, right? And we are useless, at least other creatures, when they're born.
Well, you speak for yourself.
No, but other creatures are born to do a job, aren't they? When a bee's born, you know what that's going to be doing. It hasn't got any options. That's got a job to do. And it does that job and it dies and the next one comes along.
Oh.
We asked it, do you believe in ghosts? The existence of ghosts is not proven. Many experiments have claimed to identify ghosts, but none have been scientifically sound.
Excellent. See,
Yeah,
that's a sensible, intelligent, logical, thoughtful answer.
Weird things have happened to me when I was living at home. And was in bed one
Where
night.
do you live now?
No, but I was at my first home.
Your parents?
Yeah, my mum and dad's. So I'm in bed, and I'm lying there, and you know you get that sense of like, oh, there's something going on.
Right.
And I sort of look over my quilt, and there's nothing there. Thinking it's weird that. So turn me back on it. I'm thinking I don't want to know. If there is something there, I don't want to know. Right? So I'm turning me back on it, but then there's like a really high-pitched noise, right? Sort of the hairs on my back are like going up a bit. And I'm like, oh, I don't like this. And it's the high-pitched noise.
You had a
is
hairy
getting
back
louder.
even as a kid?
No, but you know, everyone's got little
I thought it
hairs
was
on
just
them, haven't they? Everyone's got little tiny hairs on them and stuff. And I thought, I can't stand this. And I turned around, put the light on, legged it downstairs, right? And my mum's saying, what are you doing? I'm going, oh, I don't know, there's something up there. So she said, all right, then watch the telly. So I stayed up for a bit, watching the telly. Went back to bed, the high-pitched noise had gone. went to sleep, get up the next day, Charlie from next door comes round, he goes, Hilda's dead, right? And my dad said, oh, when did that happen? I said, last night at 11:15.
Right.
That's when I was in bed.
So, what are you telling me for?
Because it's weird, isn't it? It's that thing of...
what do you think would be weirder that no one ever died at 11:15 when you were in bed?
No, but that's when all the weirdness was going on. That's when the tone was happening, my back was getting itchy and stuff. And
Coincidence.
And I went down and watched telly, went back up, gone and that, but that's when her spirit had sort of...
No.
Ah, okay, right, interesting. No, this is where we get into the facts.
So Hilda's spirit had left
was whizzing round my bedroom, because my bedroom was right next door to theirs.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, that's one.
Why do they whiz round when they die? Why do spirits whiz round when they die?
Because they're going, where am I going?
Are they?
And they're whizzing round, aren't they? Am I going down? Am I going up?
No, it's Karl. Oh, no,
but
I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy, is it? How do you think it works?
It doesn't work.
But once again, it's not proof of anything, Karl. Beyond the fact that you were a child in bed.
Why did your dad ask what time she died?
No, he just sort of, what do you say to someone when it's awkward, isn't it? When someone gives you bad news, so you just think, well, what can I ask? When?
What time
did
exactly?
that happen?
Sorry?
No, you just go,
Exactly what time did she die?
My wife passed away.
Yeah,
what time exactly?
No, not exactly. He just said, that's bad. When did that happen? Like, what time?
And he said, well, thanks for asking.
Quarter to 11. Quarter to 11. Quarter to 11.
Quarter to 11, I remember.
What did he say last night? Oh, that's weird, isn't it? Convenient, aren't they, all these stories?
Or is it? Or, yeah, I mean, it's either that's exactly what happened, Rick, or he's misremembering the actual
I don't know which one to plump for.
But I tell you this though,
go on.
If we're talking about ghosts and that.
Yeah.
Now, Hilda.
Yeah.
Choose your bog standard old woman.
Right.
I hope that's on the gravestone.
I know. Yeah.
No,
did you do the eulogy?
No,
That's great. What can we say about Hilda? Bog standard old woman. Right, there's sandwiches at the bar.
That's the most insulting thing you could ever say.
There's nothing. No.
Let's just think about
Hilda
that phrase.
lived her life. Thank you for coming to celebrate the life of Hilda.
Who died at 11:15 specifically.
And was a bog standard old woman. Are we burning or burying?
But anyway, she lived to be quite old.
Which annoyed you.
In a bog standard way.
But this is what I was saying about us all living too long and stuff. It just makes it worse when it does come to us being a ghost.
I don't know what you're talking about again.
That sentence made no sense.
Just, if you are going to be haunted, right, I know you're going to say, well, I don't believe in them, so I'm not worried, so don't be going on about it. But say, like, your new place that you've bought, you move in, and you go to bed, and there's something moving about the room. You see it, it's a ghost.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's, for the sake
More
of argument,
likely, a Siamese cat called Ollie.
No, because that's probably got its own room, hasn't it? But what I'm saying is, would you prefer to have an old person moving about looking at you, or just a young person? I'd prefer a youngish person who looks normal and is sort of floating about, and you go, all right.
That looks normal, floating about.
No, but an old woman would really scare me. And ghosts are always going to have a bad reputation because they look scary because they're old. So that's...
You talk absolute shit.
That's all I'm saying. So
Can you believe we ever charged for this?
No, but look, if we are going into another life, right, after this,
which we're not,
we move on to another life.
Yeah.
We're not going to move on. That land, say if it is like another world, where we go and we plough fields and we grow
Croppage.
We grow crop.
Crops.
Crops, if you want.
Yeah, well, I would like to use the English language.
Yeah, but there's too much fruit about, so just a crop. Just something we need to get by.
Fruit about. He's got an answer for everything.
That's
So we
what
grow
I'm
some
saying.
crop.
Yeah. So you grow your crop, and now if we're all going into that other land or world or universe, old, who's going to do the cropping?
Oh God! Oh, I've never heard so much crop in my life.
It's a load of old crop.
I had to go for an ultrasound, right?
Isn't that what you do if you're pregnant?
Yeah, but do you know I've had kidney stones?
Are you
and that?
expecting?
We talked about
Lucky
it
you.
in the other podcast and that we've done, right? I've had a kidney stone. I don't want to go on about it. But it was painful and that.
Well, you are going on about it.
Yeah, and it was
no,
nothing.
but I'm just saying.
It's routine. Don't worry about
It's
it.
not routine.
Well,
Why
it
did they have
is.
to keep
Loads
going
and loads
back
of
then?
people.
Why did they have to keep going back? You're questioning me.
You're getting into a routine. Keep going back. It's better than working it. You don't have to
Promote the
sell the book. No, holiday or hospital. Holiday or hospital. Holiday or hospital. I don't know. I'll just say that we've got a book out, right? The World of Karl Pilkington. It's out now. When he goes on holiday the first week, right? He's in and out of hospital. He's doing no good. He's got to go in again. He goes away with his family like twice a year. Goes away with Suzanne's family twice a year. He's now said he doesn't want to do any press for it because it's boring, or he doesn't want. Why aren't you plugging the book? I mean, if you're an author, you've got to get behind
I've bought books without hearing someone telling me to buy stuff.
No, you're
just buy stuff.
lazy. You're lazy.
I'm not lazy. It's just that I'm sick and tired of putting telly on or the radio and having people telling me, oh, you've got to buy this, you've got to buy that. No, I don't have to do anything. I'll have a look myself when I'm in a bookshop. Let them just find it.
But there are hundreds and thousands of books, Karl. They may not find it.
Well,
You're
just
trying
have
to
a look.
direct them towards it.
I don't want to direct them to it. I just, if you come across it,
But
most
why
of
have
the
you
books,
put all this work into this book, all these illustrations you've done and
because
extra
I
material?
enjoyed it for me.
Right, but you don't want anyone to read it,
Yeah,
so
they
why
will
just put it
read
in a drawer?
They will read it. They'll find it. People will find it. It's in the shop, isn't it? I'm always finding little books on different things and what have you.
Yeah, but you don't read them. You read the first couple of lines and you get it wrong. What,
So I went back, right, and they had the ultrasound thing where they're looking to see what else is in there. And when I was in the waiting room, there was a woman there. I reckon she was about 98. Now, why are they rooting around in her to see what's up with her? Just let her die. Do you know what I mean? If she's not in any
Jesus.
pain, no. All
Such
I'm just saying, how long does she want to be around? And the problem is, she went off. Right, I was sat in the waiting room. She went off into the little cubicle to put her a gown on, and because she's old, she can't bend her arms and that. So she came out with it all open on the back, and it was horrible. It looked like a chicken that hasn't been looked after, right? It was all leathery skin and that, right? Now, the thing is, it's all very well keeping people alive, but the surroundings of the body isn't meant to be lasting that long, is it? Do you know what I mean? The actual skin of a body, it's all very well keeping the heart going, checking the kidneys and all that, but we're not meant to be around this length of time. Yet we're messing with it.
Yeah. Just do the gown up.
You never do, you never see insects or anything like that look old. You don't go, look at the state of that.
Because they live about 4 weeks!
Yeah, but maybe that's the way it's meant to be. In the same way, maybe we were only meant to live to be 40.
But why did you go in for your operation then? Why didn't you just think, well, this is it, I've
It's
had
on
my
offer.
time?
If they're looking after an old woman who's about 98, I'm having a go.
Well, of
you want to
course.
live, because you want to live on.
She might have been flirting with you.
No, she was.
Keeping it open, just so you can have a little look.
But I'm just saying, is that right? Is it right that
You
they're
were
going
checking
in
her out.
there rooting around and stuff? I didn't like it. I didn't like having it done. I don't like going to the hospital and stuff and the doctors and all that. And she was pushing the thing down, and she said, "Oh, you can have a look if you want." So
What, down where?
on my kidneys, she was pushing like this little scanner thing.
Oh, right.
She was going to have a look. I was going, I don't want to have a look. She's going, what's up with you? I said, I don't want to see me insides. It's
Did
not
they have
normal.
did they put a tube down the end of your knob?
Yeah, they did all that. We've talked about that in the other.
But you were
audio
unconscious,
books.
weren't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does it? If you know it's going on, it still bothers you. It's because you're asleep.
Well, not really, no.
What do you mean?
Well, why does it bother you if you're asleep?
Well, that's like saying, oh, I woke up and the house was robbed. Oh, it doesn't matter, you're asleep.
Well, no,
It's
but...
still going to bother you, isn't it?
but you knew it was happening and you did it willingly. It's not pleasant to go in and be made to go unconscious. That's the unpleasant bit, isn't it? And pain.
Well,
and
no, it's more the idea of it, isn't it? That's why, doctors telling you everything they're doing. It's like, don't tell me, you know what you're doing, just do it. I'm not going to have a go at it. It's not like DIY people coming around and going, oh, well, what you should have done there is, and you can go, oh, I'll have a go at that next time on my own without calling you out. If I get kidney stones again, I'm not going to go, oh, I've had it done before, I know what to do, I'll stick it up there. Doesn't happen, does it? But I can't, what was I saying? So anyway, so she was pushing the scanner over me kidneys and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, it was weird with her, because at no point did she make eye contact with me.
Well, I don't understand what that means. Well, she meant to wink and go, your kidneys are fucked.
No, but it's just weird that she probably spends her days looking inside people more than she does talking to people. I just thought it was odd. That's how she sees people. When she looks at people, she probably sees kidneys.
What, this doctor?
The woman doctor.
Well, doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So, what you're saying is, the strange thing is that she often spends more time looking in people, because she's a doctor, than chatting to them.
Yeah.
And is it weird that Jonathan Ross is the other way around? Because he's a chat show host. He spends more time talking to people than looking inside them.
No, but even when I was
Because he's
asking
got a different job.
when I was asking her questions, saying, you know, does it look all right? What's it doing? Is it moving about? You know, asking her questions about my kidney. She could have quite easily just turned around and give me a bit of eye contact.
But she was looking,
I'm concentrating.
She was
I'm at
looking
work.
at the screen in order to answer your questions.
Yeah, she's at work. She's doing something.
No, but just...
If she was here now going, Karl, what are you doing with that microphone? You'd go, shut the fuck up. I'm doing a podcast.
Did she run this scanner over your head? And if so, did she find anything?
in St Ives, and just, you know, it was a nice day and that. There was no telly in the place. It was a horrible house. It was haunted, actually. No, honestly.
No, not honestly. It wasn't haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts.
So
so you saying honestly it was haunted means fuck all.
It's the weirdest place and weirdest sensation I've ever had. I spoke to a woman called Mrs. Battersby,
Right.
who sat on my bed keeping me up all night. My mum came up, she said, you look shattered. I said, yeah, I haven't had a kip all night. She said, why? I said, I've been talking to Mrs. Battersby. She said, who's that? I said, no, some old woman. Now, I can't remember it now, but that's what I did then. And then,
Sorry, so Mrs. Battersby didn't exist, is that what you're saying? She was the ghost?
yeah.
Wasn't the landlady?
No, there's no landlady. It's a big house, about 12 bedrooms in it.
Right.
Dead cheap to stay there because it was a wreck. My
Were
mum
you
and dad
ill?
went out
Were you
one
ill?
night.
Did you have flu at the
No,
time?
I had nothing like that. I just...
So you were sitting up, but you were awake, and you were having a conversation with Mrs. Battersby.
What did she look like?
I can't remember. I can't even remember having the chat now.
Right,
But
so-
at the time, I was like, oh, she just doesn't shut up. Chatting all night.
So you don't remember this happening? Or you do remember it happening?
No, I remember that, like, if I see my mum now and I mention St Ives, she'll go, oh yeah, Mrs. Battersby. She remembers coming in, because she was older than me, wasn't she? So, to
Who?
her, my mum.
Was she?
Yeah.
How old was Mrs. Battersby? She was older than both
She
of you.
was old because I'm calling her Mrs. Battersby. If she was my age, I'd probably say, oh, it's Susan or whatever.
Right, sure,
You
Miss
call older
Miss
people
Battersby.
by the surname, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she kept me
How
up
old
all
were you?
night. Don't know, I'm thinking of pictures at the wedding.
Why do you have to go through other things to just have a memory?
How old do you reckon you were?
I don't understand why you haven't got direct access to your memories.
How old do you reckon you were?
Your mum was older though, yeah?
You must have a vague idea of when this
I'm
event
thinking about
was.
it now, I'm thinking. I'm
Okay.
picturing a picture of myself at this wedding.
Okay.
And how old are you? What are you doing?
How tall were
I'd say I
you?
look about...
How were you?
I'd say I look about 7 or 8, looking at the picture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So Mrs. Battersby is chatting away to you. You don't remember what she said, but you do remember having the conversation.
No, he doesn't remember it
I
at
don't
all.
remember the chat now.
Well then
So-
why are you telling us? You
not
must
your
remember it
memory.
because you're telling us about
It's not
it.
your
Because it's a
memory.
memory, my mum's reminded me of it.
Yeah, but all it says is, oh, this is so far removed. This is hearsay that your mum said you spoke to a ghost once, and you don't even remember the ghost.
Mrs. Battersby.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, but you
remember
don't
the name
remember
only because
her.
your mum reminded you of
In a
it.
court of law, if there was a ghost court, they go, hearsay, thrown out of court.
Right.
You
yeah.
don't have a memory of Mrs.
No,
Battersby.
look, I know that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I ate a beetle. I ate a beetle because I thought it was licorice. Now, I can't remember that now.
You can't remember that, but you know it happened because your mother told you it happened.
Exactly.
Right. But the fundamental thing is that we can believe we can believe you ate a beetle, well, because that is something that could happen in real life.
But-
what we're questioning is that you spoke to a ghost.
I thought it was licorice. What sort of beetle was it?
Just one of them standard beetles, just the black shiny one.
Thing is, right, a couple of years ago, we were in the Ivy, and the food came, and there's a big blob of wasabi, right? It was like called an Oriental hors d'oeuvre, right? And I looked over at Karl, and he started going, drinking water. I said, what was that? I said, I heard that. I said, that was a blob of wasabi. He said, I thought it was one mushy pea.
That's a classy restaurant, they're serving one mushy pea.
Well, they do that, don't they?
Wow.
Small portions. It's all trendy, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the fact that it's exactly the same thing, but they've swapped beetle for wasabi
Yeah.
and licorice for pea. You see things, you see something, you
It's a
think...
good job you remembered that anecdote, though, because he doesn't.
Exactly, yeah. In years to come, we'll be going, ate some wasabi once, did you?
Yeah.
Well, according to Ricky, I did. Yeah, I was in the ivy. I thought it were mushy pea.
So hang on, I just want to go back to Mrs. Battersby because you confidently said it was haunted place,
Yeah.
but you've got no real evidence for it because even you claim you had this encounter, you don't even remember it.
Yeah, but you don't remember everything in life,
But you
do you?
supposedly had a conversation with a ghost.
I know, but I didn't know. When I was younger, I
But you
didn't think
remember
that
the
was a
specifics
ghost.
of an ant walking around.
Yeah, so you thought, so I see. If you'd have had the memory, it would just be a nice old lady on the end of your bed all night.
Right.
And then...
Then when I mentioned it, my mum was saying, "What do you mean, Mrs. Battersby? Who's Mrs. Battersby?"
Right.
When you're a kid, you're not terrified, are you?
No.
Nothing scares
I mean,
you.
I'm beginning to think, who the fuck is Mrs. Battersby, I must admit. But
So, yeah, that was, but it was a weird place. I mean, there was no telly. All they had for sort of company was a calculator.
Carl, you're the strangest little man that's ever lived. Company. There goes Carl with his friend. What's his friend? Oh, it's a little...
It's a Sanyo 4197G.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, calculator, do that boobs thing again.
My mum and dad used to go out. I stayed in there.
Just shots of him with his calculator on the beach. It's sunlit. Maybe beautiful and the
4
air.
plus 16, what will it be?
My only friend was a calculator.
The death thing, right?
Yeah.
There was an argument on there about, do you know that Twilight Zone or whatever it was, Tales of the Unexpected?
Oh, yeah.
Where the woman got buried alive.
Yeah.
They were saying how, like, years ago, they'd bury people thinking they're dead.
Yeah.
And they've recently, like, dug coffins up, and then the people who were in the coffin weren't dead, they might have just been, like, in some sort of deep sleep or whatever.
Catatonic.
And they've lifted the lid off,
Yeah.
and there's scratch marks on the thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty scary. And
Makes you think. I mean, I hope they check these days. Now, Steve.
Yes.
Karl text messaged me in the week, very excited, because he just watched a programme that proved me and you were stupid. Remember we sort of championed the anti-supernatural?
Yes. Sceptical view.
We're just absolutely sceptical about things like that. We're atheists. We don't believe in ghosts, anything like that. Anything supernatural. We're followers of James Randi, a genius of our times. But Karl saw something that proved us wrong. I'd like Karl to tell you what this proof was, what he saw on, and look at him. Go on then.
It was on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I was watching. You see, the problem is I didn't get the full story, so you could pick holes out of it.
Sure.
But I was
Unlike your usual investigations into the supernatural.
Which are
It was called. Can I just say what the programme was called?
Mr. Exorcist.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Sounds like an academic work to me.
Yes.
the bit that I caught, I just flicked it over, sort of seeing what's on the telly, and I thought, oh, Exorcist, I've seen it, but there's nothing else, and I watched it, and then I realised it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have a bit of this. And there was an old woman and a daughter, and as far as I was aware, the bit I picked up on, they were saying, oh, you know, it's dreadful, and unless you've been through it, you know, you've had ghosts in your house and that, you really don't know what it's like.
Yeah, sure.
And the main thing that seemed to be getting them down was the fact that the budgie was getting stressed.
The budgie was getting stressed.
Because animals can sense the other side, can't
Okay. Can they?
they? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And how was that manifesting itself? You don't know. What was the budgie doing?
I think it just wasn't happy.
Right. Did it explain that to people, or
No,
how
you
did
know,
it express that?
budgies are known for being chirpy, aren't they?
I said it
And
wasn't chirping.
It you know, it normally swings on its little perch and that. And
Just depressed because it was
Right.
possessed.
It was just sat around in its pajamas.
so
No, come on,
So
Steve.
the-
Come on, Steve. You're making this a mockery. So the budgie was depressed because he could sense the ghost.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
this
yeah,
this guy, this Mr. Exorcist came round.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Was he a priest or something?
yeah, he might have been.
Yeah.
Like I picked
Did he
up
did he
at
have
the
a
end.
like a black coat with a little white collar? That's usually the.
He had his coat on, so you couldn't tell.
I'm sure. Okay.
But so he came round and he sort of did his thing,
Yeah.
and then
And was
the
he trying?
next shot,
Was he trying to exorcise the budgie?
No,
the
the
ghost.
house.
Right.
The
So
house,
it
yeah.
wasn't that the budgie had a
He was
demon or
clearing the
anything.
house
No.
out.
Okay.
No, this
So-
wasn't a possession, was it? This was a straightforward. It wasn't a poltergeist or anything. It was just a.
It was a
he's-
haunted house.
Yeah, but
Sure.
that's the thing he was saying. He was saying you can have like your ghouls and that aren't that bad, that aren't going to cause you any
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
But obviously the budgie, they've got weak hearts and that, haven't they? And
Sure.
I don't know
So he go on. So
so
how?
anyway, basically he sorted it out, did whatever he did,
And the next shot you see is like the budgie making a noise and swinging
It's
about.
happy
It's
again.
over the moon again. And the old woman was like happy because she was.
She couldn't believe her luck,
stressed.
yeah.
And that's
The
it.
priest didn't come in and go, well, you should feed that bird. Give it a bit of millet. It was happy. He goes, right,
No,
see you
it's-
later. No. It was a...
Because
toast.
budgies are. My mum's got a budgie, and they're fairly happy all the time, aren't they? So it's got to be something fairly odd.
Right.
You never see a budgie sitting down going, I feel like topping myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Though?
No.
Do you know
no.
you can have like a moody dog? You can see a dog when it's unhappy if it's walking down the street.
You can have a moody canary, can't you? And what they do is they often tell the police what you've been doing. They're known for that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So basically,
So that for you is proof that the supernatural exists. A bird in a cage got a little bit annoyed, wasn't chirping as much as it normally did. Who knows why? There could have been a little draft up its, and
Cloaca.
exactly.
That's
Anyway,
a medical term.
Anyway, a man came in and did whatever he did.
Yeah.
And you feel friends.
Mr. Exorcist, though, Steve.
Yeah.
This wasn't any bloke off the street. This was Mr. Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And for you, that's the proof that there's.
just because like if it was a person, you go, oh, they're playing up for the camera.
yeah,
you know,
a budgie could possibly act like that, Steve.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You're saying a budgie would not be it wouldn't be trying to become famous. Or just
No,
want to get on the telly.
not like Lassie.
No, sure.
It was
sure.
basically a show off.
Yeah, or
So-
Champion the Wonder Horse.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
I've changed my tune, Rick. I don't know about you.
I have, and I think we should play a record.
I'd love to get Mr. Exorcist in. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Never dabble with things you don't understand,
Sorry.
like women. See what I did there?
He's turned that back on me.
XFM 104.9. So it's not so bad really, because we didn't plan the thing.
No.
We proved the supernatural. We were wrong about that.
Well, just one other question. Was there anything else in this woman's house that led her to believe that there were ghosts, or was it just the fact that, Tweety or whatever his name was, wasn't chirping?
You see, this is the problem. I was watching UK Style. I was watching something on that.
What we wasn't on that.
It was, it's not changing rooms. It's like that, but cheaper.
Quite seriously, right? You might be the most interesting man in the world. I'm fascinated by it. I'd like to follow you. I'd like to have a hidden camera on you. I can ask you any question. I'd like to have you in a cupboard in my flat. So I just think about it. I wonder what Karl thinks of that. And I'd just throw something at you, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's what my dad did.
Just
Kept me in the cupboard.
you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
I wonder what Karl would
You're
think
never
about
stuck
this.
for a conversation point if Carl's around. That's
No,
what's genius about it.
he's always got an opinion. He's got an opinion about everything.
Yeah.
It's
But I love the
fantastic.
fact he was watching UK Style without a shadow of irony.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No,
He's
that's,
just
that's,
like-
what, no, that's what I like about him.
Exactly, that's what's
I wouldn't
brilliant.
like it if he was trying to be
No, he's not.
kitsch
Yeah.
and stuff. I like it because he's down the line, straightforward, no nonsense.
Yeah.
This is what I like. You know what I mean? He's going to be sort of like Jeffrey Boycott, Dickie Bird when he's about like 60 or 70. He's going to get on a bus and go to the driver somewhere. You need an haircut. You look like a scruffy get. You know what I mean? He's going to be a great old bloke that
Genius.
he doesn't get chinned in the pub.
Yeah.
Right? People protect him. Because he's like 70 or something. But it's great. You're looking forward. You're actually in that nod. That nod went. I can't wait to be 70.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Can I make a suggestion that we just get people, they can email in just questions or comments they'd like to hear from Karl. Maybe they just want to know his opinion on the Afghanistan situation.
Yeah, like
or
like
last night's Coronation Street, whatever.
Yeah, like they do it. In the NME or imagine that coming up to the election, they go, Billy says Labour.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think the
Karl.
Sun has White Van Man. Each
Oh,
day
yeah.
they interview a guy who drives a white van, see his opinions on various topics. Karl is very much our white man van. White
Yeah.
man van.
Yeah.
So
I think-
any query you have,
I think most of our listeners are.
any
to be honest.
opinion that you would like to hear voiced from the K-Man, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, or you can phone in. I forget what the number is.
Doesn't matter, does it?
700 800 1234.
Sweet.
Now it's time for our first regular feature of the day. That film sounds good.
That film sounds good.
I stopped the film reviews because I've done all the films that are 9 or
Yep.
10 out of 10. I don't want to
Yep.
drop my standards.
Absolutely.
This is a feature where it's a soundtrack of a film where I like the single from it and might want to see the film, might have seen the film. Today is our first request.
Right, interesting.
This is for Martin, who wants to hear Live in the City by Stevie Wonder, and it's from Jungle Fever.
Let's hear it.
Well, I wonder.
The man's
From
a
the
god.
film Jungle Fever.
Absolutely.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
Well, not to be confused with Living in the City, which I think is a Desiree track.
So
never
you
do
know,
that.
because you're a huge
But
Desiree fan.
we were grooving along to that. It's a great, not my favourite Stevie Wonder track. I actually, He's Mr. Know-It-All, but a great track. Stevie Wonder's just fantastic anyway. And during that, we just had heads down, we just like, just enjoying the moment. We said, turn it up, didn't we? We liked it. Karl, just halfway through, just looking at me, he's got a driving licence.
Yep.
I went, what? He went, he's got a driving licence. I went, he went, yeah, just for his own land. I went, you don't need a driving licence for your own land. He went, you might be right. He said, who else is blind?
I remember hearing something. It was someone famous who shouldn't have a driving licence.
Well,
and they have. And I'm sure
a lot of people.
I'm sure it was someone who was blind. But you're right, it's a bit of an odd one.
Isn't it? No, but don't forget, this hasn't just happened, this is in your head. So you can't say that and go, isn't that weird? How did that happen? It's in your head, don't forget at the moment. There is no proof of this.
There's no proof of that.
You can't say something and then go, isn't that strange? You said it.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? We didn't just see something happen out the window. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? What's in your head and what happened and all that? What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking, who's that other fella?
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Why would he have a driving licence? He's blind as well. I think it's the blind thing we've got a problem with. It's the idea of people who are blind driving cars that's maybe made us question that. I mean, Stevie may have a driving licence. I very much doubt that he's passed his test.
No.
He probably hasn't even... I mean, he could have done the theory one, maybe. But that's touchscreen.
And until Labradors actually are allowed on the Queen's Highway, I don't think we'll see many blind people driving cars.
I might be wrong.
You might be, mightn't you? Oh, we hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You might be wrong.
Could well be
Well,
wrong.
there's a start. I fancy a bit of Ed Hardcore about now.
Well, Rick, you've embarrassed yourself because his name's Harcourt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just play the song, Carl. Let's mop up this ugly mess. Still to come, loads of our other features, of course, including Hip Hop Hooray!
Do you believe in, I think lycanthropy? Is it not called?
What's that, sorry?
Lycanthropy.
What's lycanthropy?
Isn't that werewolfism?
Really?
Isn't it? Do you believe in that, Karl?
They've found stuff, haven't they? They've found kids walking about who are all hairy. Because they've sort of grew up with wolves and that.
Yeah.
So
No, you see, two things there. You cannot take on acquired characteristics genetically. So, if you grew up with wolves, it wouldn't suddenly make you hairy.
There's been pictures, there's been stories on it, and I reckon most people a lot of people have seen the stories. It's a popular thing.
You mean the kids that are born hairy?
No, there's kids who've been born hairy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
No, but listen, and they walk around on all fours, and they drink milk from a saucer.
Steve, this is
remember that time with the maggot in the head?
Yeah.
Getting out with bacon, and you were like laughing, and then people called up and said, yeah, I've seen that, I've read about that.
Yeah,
this is the same thing.
Have you seen an XFM listener up close? Have you ever looked?
They drink milk from a saucer.
yeah, they've got to be kept on leads. People who listen to this show.
There's no point me telling you about stuff.
There is. It's comedy gold.
When you were at school, did you keep arguing with the teacher saying you're talking rubbish there?
Teachers didn't teach us about werewolf boys and ghosts. They taught us maths. God, right. Tell the story about the manhole cover.
Right, in the same magazine as the one with the cat and the fire and that.
Don't tell me that story again, it gives me the shivers.
Yeah, a cat that's got a weird expression on its face is against God.
Anyway, this isn't a scary story, this was just, like physics. Physics.
Yeah.
It was going on about the, nuclear bomb and how powerful it is. And, they put a manhole cover on top of one.
Okay.
Blew it up.
Yeah.
Never saw the manhole cover again.
Man alive, Carl. Unexplained.
What's going on there? Something weird is happening there. Oh.
If anyone has ever seen that manhole cover, please get in touch. We'd love to know where it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. What sort of experiment is that? I imagine all these scientists on multi-billion-pound research budgets, they're going, we test everything. What would you do to a manhole cover? Don't know.
That's like letting a couple of students
Yeah, exactly.
Have
Yeah.
control of a nuclear
Do you
sub.
reckon it can
Let's
send a
put this
traffic cone
yeah.
into orbit? Go on, then put it on there. I love that. Imagine that. What value is that? I might tell you what we could do. We could put the manhole cover on it and aim it, and then blow the bomb up, and the manhole cover would have someone's eye out. Fire it. See if you can fire manhole covers off the nuclear bomb. I love it. Try bangers to a bomb. See if it's louder. Oh God. Again, I broke the rules in the week. I met up with Karl. I had lunch with him, and we were chatting. Having a cup of tea, and it got onto one of Karl's favourite programmes, was the Tales of the Unexpected.
Ah, of course.
And all I can think is that he's probably the only person in Britain where they were unexpected. I mean, to him, when that twist came in, he'd go, gee, I can't...
Yeah.
Oh God!
Can't believe
so
it.
it was the tree that did it. I mean, he was probably the only, and we were telling all these stories of horror, and he liked horror stories. And I told him this story, and I don't know if this had come across the radio, but I told him this story. It was a short. It was a horror short.
This was a film you saw, was it?
Yeah, yeah. And what it was, it started off just had been a car crash. You see, it's a horrendous wreck, and you saw it from the point of view of the person in the car, and he was calling for his mate, and he was going, Dave. And he sort of looked over and saw a body without a head that had been thrown at. He goes, "Oh no, Dave, Dave!" And then into the field of view came Dave, his mate, and looked at him with a look of horror. And then it sort of went black, and you realised that he was just a head, and it had been his body.
Oh wow!
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, then it came up at the end, at the executions in the French Revolution, people experience consciousness for, you know, and he went, oh. No, he said, it wouldn't be for that long. And then he went, if it was a chicken, it would work. Imagine remaking that film, but it's two chickens in horrendous car crash.
Their own fault for driving.
It would work. No, he wasn't having that.
Yeah.
No, it was too long. I think he said, how long was this film? I went, oh no, 5 minutes. He went, no. It would work if it was a chicken.
I like the way that Karl is something like, when you relate an incident like that, he's appalled and offended and annoyed by the people that made it, even though he's never seen it.
Oh, he's annoyed, yeah. Like, you haven't...
I want to see it. I think it's a good idea,
Yeah.
but they should have thought it through a bit more.
Yeah, yes. Do you have a favourite, Tales of the Unexpected, one that you remember particularly that shook you up?
Yeah, we were talking about the one on, where, there's some woman in prison. Have you seen that one?
No, I can't remember them all.
Right? This woman's in prison.
Yeah.
And, she gets a bit friendly with the guy who takes the dead bodies out.
Right.
And, he said, I can get you out of here. He said, what you've got to do, right? You've got to, I don't know, at midnight...
When you hear the bell toll, that means there's been a dead body,
yeah, there's been a dead body. So what you got to do is go into, like, the, place where all the dead bodies are, get in the first coffin on the right, and then I'll come along and carry you out, and you can run away and escape, right? So she goes, yeah, alright then. So she hears the bell go.
I'll bury you, right? And then I'll come back later and dig you up.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's the point.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Trust me, Karl, it
Alright,
really
okay.
matters.
Listen, I don't know if I'm going to ruin this for people at home.
Yeah.
Can I just skip to the end? I would imagine that she gets buried and he doesn't come back, and she has to get buried alive.
Better than that.
Okay.
Yeah, she does it. She gets into the coffin.
Yeah, shh.
Go on.
Right. So she gets in the coffin, and she's lying there for ages.
She's
and
buried.
She can feel a bit of movement going on, so she's obviously, you know, being carried somewhere, so she's thinking, this is it, I'm getting out. And she's lying there for ages and thinking, why ain't someone coming and lifting the lid off this? Do you know what I mean? Letting me get out. So she's really bored. She gets a lighter out, right? Lights it to have a look at who she's lying on. It's only the fella who said he'd help escape.
Oh.
How bad is that?
That is... How bad is that?
So it is quite important that she's buried alive then, isn't it? In retrospect, you realise that the jeopardy is that she's buried alive and can't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it so much worse, doesn't it, than just like lying in the morgue and going, actually, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna work.
Look at Karl's face. Having told that, he's so pleased. His face is lit up. He's beaming like a child.
Have you seen any?
Is that your favourite horror thing ever?
That's a good one. And
Let's see if anyone knows what the finger is. When that bloke was under the ground, wiggling his finger.
We were talking about one with some fella who's stuck in the ground or something.
This is a motif I noticed in your particular favourite ones.
Yeah.
Right.
People stuck in the ground. Go on.
Right. So it's
a fella, is it?
Yeah, a fella stuck. Now, I seem to remember it just being his foot, to be honest, being stuck in a hole. And
No,
people-
he was under the ground, and he got a little thing out of the pavement, and he put his finger up and wiggled it to try and attract attention. Then you see a woman come along, and her stiletto heel just knocks his finger off.
You see, I'm wondering whether it's the same one as I saw.
Yeah, it could be two like that, couldn't there? It's a.
They were running out of ideas by the last series.
It's a big theme in Hollywood.
Or, what was that one you told me about with the porn? That was a good one.
Oh, this was fantastic, right? Right. There was this,
Sorry, can I just check now? We're just remembering classic episodes of the Tales of
No,
the
this
Unexpected
is, this is important. Well, I saw one, right? I saw one, on Tales of the Unexpected, right? And it was, these two gents, what they used to do, they look down the obituaries, and they'd blackmail, the wife or the son of a dead eminent person, like might be a priest or a doctor, something like that, and they'd go and they'd say, he bought some, erotic, stuff from us, before he died, and he owes, 100 guineas and all this sort of stuff. And they'd pay up because it'd be so embarrassing. They just didn't want to say, just pay him, right? And this one bloke said, who are these people? I'll meet with them. And he goes round there, and he goes round, and, they go, your father, he goes, my father could not have bought any erotic material from you. They did it, he goes, he couldn't have, he's blind. Right, and that was the twist. And Karl went, so it was magazines, not videos then.
Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because
Yeah.
people, professional
right.
pornographers don't tend to call it, you know, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, you know, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound,
Yeah.
Karl. Look at him nodding like
Yeah.
he's caught me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do 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 do
Ooh,
do do do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't
Occasional
it?
groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could
Okay.
listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Karl, that they could have had a Braille porno. Now, have you
Yeah.
thought of that?
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Karl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Karl.
Yeah, the cheese grate has only entered the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
Yeah.
There's loads of things that have happened where people go, oh, that's weird. That goes to show that we've been around before, or.
No, it doesn't. There's none. I have no evidence for that. Of
Well, I
reincarnation.
told you that time when it happened to me when I was younger.
Go on.
Your life flashed before your eyes.
Well, it wasn't like a flashback, but it was it's the next thing next to flashbacks. It was I was having a bath, right, and my mum had like run the bath and that, and she said, "Is that too warm?" And I said something like, "No, it's all right. It's a lot better than when I used to have a bath in that wooden bath in front of the fire." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "You know, it happened years ago." And she was a bit like, "Oh." And I can't remember that now, but she talks about it, and, you know, that just goes to show that... Because I was at an age when I wouldn't have known about wooden baths years ago in front of fires.
No, but you talk rubbish now. So all you were doing, you were talking rubbish from an early age. Where's the problem?
No, but you can only talk rubbish if you're aware of knowledge.
Well,
I didn't know about wooden baths, so
You
why
didn't-
would I have
But
invented
Karl,
that?
we've only got your mother's word on this, and she thought you might one day be a doctor.
Yeah.
So,
She put a rock with a feather on it to keep a parrot company.
lest we forget.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's all bollocks.
So have you researched this? You've tried to find out when little Karl Mark I and his wooden bath when he was
No, I
around?
don't want to go there, because that's when you start digging out all sorts
It's
of trouble,
rubbish. It's rubbish.
No, it's not rubbish.
Well, it is
what
rubbish.
sort of stuff might
There's
you
no
discover?
scientific evidence.
No,
for
just like how I've said about family trees and that, don't be looking at them, because you're only going to find stuff you don't really want to know about. It's the same as that, innit? Leave it, let it be. Do you know what I mean? If your granddad was Einstein, you'd know about it because your family would be shouting about it. If he was a bad un, you'd go, oh, keep that quiet. So don't look at family trees, and it's the same, don't be looking back in your past lives.
There's
Because
no
God knows
past
what you've been up
lives.
to. Well,
Karl and the wooden bath. Proof. If
Karl
proof be needed.
Pilkington, live on air, talking shit.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
This is you as you, not as you as a worm.
but have I had the training?
Oh, for
Oh.
No, well, I've said before, haven't I, about maybe having a go at an operation.
I don't know why it leaps from where it leaps from no ambition. Where if he could have a job, it would his best job he's ever had is a paper round, and if he could have a job, he'd like go to the cobbler once a week and then walk a dog. To I'd like to have a go at thoracic surgery.
No, I'm just saying. I bet it's like we do this, and you know, some people like listening to it and what have you, and you go fair enough. But I never feel like I'm doing anything of any worth.
No, you're absolutely right there.
But if you're going into like an hospital, which are places that are pretty miserable anyway, as an office space, not only have you got to go in that building and work in it, but you've then got the pressure of changing a lung or whatever I've said before.
Changing a lung, yeah.
But I'd like to have a go at it so I can say
You've done it.
I've done that.
So under what circumstances, in what world, do you think anyone's going to let you have a go at changing a lung and that? Jim will fix it.
No, I'm just saying the
Comic
way,
relief.
but the way the world is, and the way that there's more and more people, more and more doctors are needed. I mean, it's already happening now that people are doing jobs that they're not really qualified for because they get sort of what's the word? Sort of uppered too early.
Upward.
Upward! I love the fact it's basic language. It's like it's unbelievable. Upward.
Do you know what I mean?
Promoted.
Yeah, promoted.
Yeah.
They get promoted.
I prefer
too early.
upward.
Upward's great.
So
Why was I not upward? Unbelievable.
So do you know what I mean? I think because more and more people are knocking about, we need more and more doctors.
Yeah.
You get a job in a doctor's, you're going to be promoted sooner now, I think.
Yeah. Well, what I'd do is I'd probably upper you, and then what's the word? You go away them.
I think it is you go away them.
You leave the door. You leave the door. You fire them. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'd upper you and go away the doctor, if anything.
But I've been to, you know how I don't like going to the doctors and stuff.
Yeah. Because you're always scared that they might investigate below the bridge.
Yeah, but I checked on that before. I signed up to it, and then they said, right, before we can take you on as a patient, you've got to have a health check, right? Which I thought was odd, because it's almost like saying, if you're ill, we can't be having you coming here, right? But I said, right, OK, fair enough, what is this health check? And they said, oh, you know, we just check your body out and make sure you're fit and healthy. And I thought, that isn't enough information. You know, I want to know if it's the old finger trick. Or, and I said, what do you mean, though, when you said health check, what do you do? And she said, oh, it's just, I think she knew what I was getting at. And she said, oh, it's just the blood pressure, your height, your weight. That's about it. So I went and had it and stuff. But you had to, before you sort of said, right, I want this doctor, they give you loads of forms to fill out, right? And one of the things they did was, if you die, what do you want to give away? Right? Like a donor.
Mm.
And what have you, and I thought, I really thought about it for 40 minutes or so. I didn't just rush into it. I was sat there thinking, you know, if I'm dead, does it matter and stuff? But I was really concerned when it said about the eyes.
Right.
Right. Why? What do you mean? What? Because can they have your eyes after you die?
It was. I think it was fourth on the list.
Why do you care about giving your eyes away when you're dead?
Just because of that thing of, you know, we don't know for sure yet. I know that you poo-poo it, but the afterlife thing.
So why, in an afterlife, would you want your eyes more than your liver and your kidneys and your lungs and your heart?
Because ghosts don't eat, do they? So you don't need all your liver and your kidneys and stuff, because they're only there to sort your food out. But your eyes, if you're a ghost, I don't want to be a blind ghost. Because you're around forever then, aren't you? Once you're a ghost, that's it. So the idea of being blind when you're alive, you go, well, all right, then maybe in the afterlife I might be treated to a pair of eyes. But the fact of wandering about, dead for years, bumping into stuff...
Oh, God! Oh, it's amazing!
So,
that's an amazing image!
So I didn't tick that box.
But why? I don't understand. In your theory of the afterlife, why is it that this ghostly Karl, why can he survive without a heart, but he can't survive without eyes? Why? Do you see what I mean? Surely, if you're this ghostly apparition, you can just see everything and you can do everything. You don't need the body.
No,
because you're a ghost.
Yeah, I know, but I think when you're a ghost. Say, like how they've seen ghosts in...
Right, could I just say now for any listeners, this is not the thoughts and beliefs of the management. There is no such thing as ghosts. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in ESP or any mumbo-jumbo. Carry on, Karl. So when there's a ghost, yeah...
When they see ghosts in, like, old castles and stuff,
yeah,
they've had their head cut off because they've been up to no good, like, years ago.
But they're carrying it around normally under their arm.
That's what I'm saying. It hasn't reattached itself. So if you take the eyes out...
But Carl, how is this ghostly creature able to function? It doesn't have its head on anyway. It's carrying it under its arm, so the suspicion is it doesn't need its head.
No,
It just happens to be carrying it around because it wants to keep it with it.
The ghost is always in the last condition that it was in when it was in...
Who makes these rules?
The way you are in your last bit of life is how you are as a ghost forever, even in the fashion. Like I say, the ghosts that you see never wear modern clothes, so it's always the Victorian stuff. Now, if they could change it, they would, but they can't because they're stuck with it, so that's
Why
what
did you
I'm
see
saying with the eyes.
cavemen ghosts? When did ghosts start? They didn't kick in till about 1830, did they? What if you die when you're having a rectal examination? Are you always bent forward with your trousers around your ankles and someone's finger up your...
Would you die when you're having that done? That's why I'm not having it done, if that's...
No, but you might have both been suddenly killed in a terrible disaster.
Yeah, a meteorite hit you.
That's when you get the moaning ghosts, isn't it? They're the ones who aren't happy.
So you're going round, bent forward, you've got a doctor's finger up your... And what are you doing?
You start going, oh... And that's when you have to get the vicar round.
What do you mean?
They have to put you to rest and what have you, don't they?
And what does a vicar do when he's going? So I get the vicar round. It's years later. It's 100 years later. You're around this doctor's surgery, and there's people coming, and the doctor there, the new doctor there, and it's 2073, and they go, Vicar. They go, Vicar, there's a strange ghostly apparition. It looks like an old doctor, right? And he's got his fingers up this sort of like little... It's like a chimpanzee, but with a shaved head.
No, but the doctor wouldn't be... Are you saying the doctor dies as well?
Yeah,
As
they
you?
die. Yeah,
both
yeah,
die.
he died at the same time with his finger up. And so you're forever having a little rectal examination with your little trousers around your ankles.
Well, that's when it'd be best not to have your eyes.
I just came back from America, and they love Halloween.
They're obsessed over there.
I mean, it's a proper thing out there. Here, it's sort of half-hearted. A few people, a few middle-class families, sort of.
But do you think it'll get more popular here, though, if we do find out that ghosts are about?
Well, that'll never happen because they're not.
No,
okay?
but if they did, then suddenly that would be a big.
Well,
it'd be a big day.
America makes things famous now. Because of film culture and everything. So yeah, it's all from that. I doubt we celebrated much at all, did we, 50 years ago? So I think it's crept up.
Certainly over here we didn't, but it's been largely introduced over here through commercial ideas, isn't it?
Yeah,
we can sell stuff for
and film and things like that. But out there they start like weeks and weeks before, and they're decorated like proper. And but I saw a little bakery in Soho, and it didn't look right with cobwebs all over it and spiders on the buns.
Yeah.
But even though it's fake, it's just I don't think you should do it on a bakery. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's
just
a bit
think that surely puts you off the product a little bit.
I always find it a bit depressing. Like last time I remember going into supermarkets and you see sort of these old women who you know, in their 60s, and they're doing this job they don't really want to be doing, but they've been made to dress up
as a hat, I know,
as a witch or as Cinderella, and it just...
Well, they could do it in like a morgue or something, just to sort of
brighten up the place.
Well, just so people aren't that scared.
Imagine that. Imagine you going to identify your dead relative, and they go, "What's the spiders all over?" It's 31st October.
No,
oh, okay.
But just make it a bit spookier and have a bit of fun with it, and let's not get serious about, you know, like I say, passing on.
Yeah, but those sort of people have to take their job seriously. I remember when my mum died, and I had to go along, and I was talking about what wreath they wanted, and this person, quite rightly, had to turn off their sense of humour in a way, because I suppose they mustn't offend anyone, so I had to. They spoke like that at all times.
Yeah.
At all times. Okay, and what would you like the wreath to say? She was a mother and a grandmother. I went, yeah, mother, grandmother, and what was her name? I said, her name was Eva. I said, and I made a joke. I said, do we get a discount because her name's short? And she went, well, actually, didn't laugh, didn't get that at all. She just went, just answer the question. She went, well, actually, you pay by the letter. I thought, okay, that fell flat. I'll go again. I went, well, a friend used to call her E.
Yeah.
I went, I'm joking. She went, okay. Nothing.
Yeah.
Bad audience. Bad time, bad audience. Tough crowd.
Yeah, Undertaker's never known for their...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
their
They
laughter.
don't crack jokes, Carl. A friend of mine was trained to be a doctor, and in his first year, when they practiced, they intern at the hospital, he was watching this patient, and two other doctors came in, and I won't say his name. They said, can you go and check on Mr. So-and-so? He went, yeah, and change his drip. So he went in, changed his drip, came back out. The doctors came, after about 10 minutes, they came running and said, what did you do? What did you do? And they went in there and said, I just changed the drip. He goes, well, he's dead. He's dead. And he was going, "But, I just changed the drip. I did this and that. And they started laughing. He goes, no, he was dead when we sent you in there.
Yeah. Now, that is almost excusable because it's imperative if you're a doctor
Absolutely.
to become accustomed to
Yeah.
the fact that people die and that it's,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah. So they were making a joke about a dead body that means nothing to them other than professionally.
Yeah.
You know, they were getting through it. He thought he'd just murdered someone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
Well, he thought he just killed someone. But yeah, they have to be desensitised. But they wouldn't do that in front of the relatives. They wouldn't go. I had a laugh earlier with a young intern. When your dad died, we sent him in to change the drip. Didn't even check. It was quite good. Anyway, let's get him out of here.
No, but they do have a laugh. I heard about a doctor who was working on a brain, right? And apparently, when they work on the brain, it's best if they keep you awake because, you know, just so you can go, that hurts a bit, and they go, oh, we best not touch that bit again.
That's
Right.
the reason. Rick.
Amazing.
That's the reason.
No, there is
It's amazing.
there's certain operations, isn't there, where they go, you know, we can knock you out for that, but for this one we want to know.
It's probably because the
You're
brain needs to be
Activity.
active in order to...
Yeah,
to
they show
identify the thing,
activity,
but
yeah,
sure,
they-
yeah, no,
So
it's
anyway-
actually so you can wake up and go, yeah, no, that hurt. That stings. Hell, that stings. Don't pop that in there.
You can't feel anything in the brain anyway. No nerve endings.
Really?
You
What?
can't feel it, can you?
Well, maybe there's another reason, but anyway, his head's open. He's sat on this chair. The doctor's going.
I reckon he was laying down.
I thought he was laying down, but in your world he's not. He's sat on a hard-backed...
I think it's more
dining
like
chair.
in front of a mirror, like a hairdresser type thing, right? And he's cut the skin off.
So
Like-
get a bit shorter there.
so he's
So for the weekend, sir?
he's-
I won't be shagging with no brain.
anyway, so he's cut the skin off, and you know, chopped a bit. And you're always going to get bits, aren't you? Sort of. Whenever you cut anything, you end up with a bit missing. But anyway, somehow he does the brain stuff. He fixes it. I don't know what he was doing, but he
Don't you?
he
You don't know about. You don't know
You
about
don't know
that.
the intricacies of brain surgery? That I find perplexing.
So you're not a neurosurgeon. I don't want. Oh, okay.
So they
go on.
sorted out the problem, right? And he goes, right, all we've got to do now is stick the head bit back on.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, by the way. The head
Oh, this
bit.
happened. This happened.
Yeah, the head bit's connected to the face bit.
So he sticks.
Nurse, head bit. Doctor, do you need leg bit? Not yet, nurse. Head bit, then leg bit.
So they stuck the head bit back on, and then
Can you pass me the Sharpie thing?
he was trying to sew it, and he was going, "This isn't fitting this." He's going, "I don't know." And you know, like because the
Right, if
patient's-
this turns out that
It's
it's
someone else's head.
or
No, no.
a toupee from the doctor next to him,
Yeah.
or a cat. Wow!
No, it's-
You've sewn a cat to my brain!
it's none of that. He's trying to sew it, and he's thinking, "Why isn't it fitting?" And he's thinking, "Is it because the head's swollen?" Because you know he's been messing about in it, and things
Yeah.
swell, don't they? And messed about
Yeah.
with. So he's messing with it. He's going, I don't understand this, and he's panicking a bit because the patient's awake and chatting and stuff, and you know, it's difficult to have a normal chat when you're panicking a
I
little
know,
bit.
there's a queue as well. People want their brain done. And they're just reading old copies of magazines. They're going, hurry up.
So
I'm going out tonight. Do you want to wash it? No, just, I'll wash it later. Just take it off, do the brain, put it back on.
anyway, what happens is he has to start rummaging,
So start rummaging.
sort of rummaging.
No! There's no N before the first G. Rummaging.
Well, he starts looking through the. He starts having a look through the bin because
What?
because he knows he's chucked a bit away of the skin.
Right. Where is this surgery where a bloke's sitting up in front of a mirror and there's a bin? Is there a little basketball ring above the bin as well? So when he throws things, it goes through there first?
I'm just saying that's what happened, and you were saying about things that happen, and you've got a joke about
So
it.
he's rummaging, and what happens?
He said to him, the fellow was starting to sense the nervousness, and he said, "What's going on here?" And he says, "Oh, you're never going to believe it. I've lost a bit of your skin.
Lost a bit
and,
of your head, yeah.
I can't."
Why did he
sew."
cut? I don't understand. Why is there... Why
That's
is it in
what I
two
mean.
bits?
Because things just break up, don't they? It's like chicken. When you see him walking around, everything's in place and it sticks together. You cook it, suddenly it all breaks up.
He'd cooked his face before he cut it up.
I'm just saying how flesh, it sticks together well
Yeah, but
when...
he'd cooked the scalp before he'd taken it off his head.
No, but
had
it's
he?
just an example of how skin can break up with the muscles and everything.
So he's rummaging in the bin, and does he find the head?
He found the bit, and then he's like, oh, sorry about that, and he sort of managed to stick it on.
Right, he
and
didn't
stuff.
wash it off or anything.
Yeah, I'm sure he gives it a bit of a rinse. But I'm just saying how,
Nonsense.
you've got to make a joke out of stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, it's bollocks.
If you're a doctor.
Okay, that's good.
So where was the joke in that story? At what point I thought this was a story about how doctors have a sense of humour.
Yeah,
when
well,
did he make
at
a
the
joke?
end, he sort of laughed, and he sort of said, oh, there you go, it's back on, but, good job the bin men didn't come or whatever. And they made a joke out of it.
I've never heard such nonsense. I've never
Carl
heard
just made that
such
joke
nonsense.
I don't know where. I thought you'd sort of learnt a little bit, Carl, what is an interesting fact and what might just be a mentalist online. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what point we're making here? Why the truth is so much more even a little bit, even something that's just, mild, but is definitely the truth, is so much more interesting than just wish fulfillment of truth. To me, if it starts with there was this ghost, right, it's not interesting. You could say anything. There was this ghost that could turn custard into wine. It doesn't matter. There was this ghost that had 9 heads. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There was this
Carl's looking at you going, there's a ghost that can turn custard into wine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say after that. There's a ghost that can swallow alligators whole. The premise means it's not true to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like people say, you know what, God, right, he's incredible, I'll stop you there. The fact that you can make the earth in 7 days, well, you've lost me already. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone says something like, a cockroach can live 5 days without a head, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Right.
Do you think when you die, they say, you're a ghost, this is going to amaze you. You can go and you can spook people out.
Yeah.
Do you like custard? Come over here.
No. Well, if you don't, you don't. Do you like wine? Of course I do. Oh, you are going to love it.
You're going to love me.
You're going to love it.
I've lost all my loved ones.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? It's what your sort of beliefs are based on. Mine are sort of on, I suppose, logic and science. And but I'm amazed by the world and.
So the Iceman, why does that amaze you? What's like? Oh.
Well, they found some part of our preserved past. It's interesting. Again, I'm amazed by anthropology and evolution.
Yeah. It's just that line on its own like that, they found an Iceman is great, but then it went on, and it's going on about, they've had to get different people involved to find out how old it was. Because first of all, the story started off, right, an old fellow on holiday somewhere. Where did they find it? In Sweden or something? And he was walking in the hills. And
he was walking?
In the hills.
In heels? Was he a transvestite?
In the mountains.
Oh, right.
In the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's walking about, and he sees this body in the snow, and he thinks, oh. So he calls the police up, and they come and have a look, and he goes, oh yeah, it's probably a murder. So then they dig it up and find out he's got hold of a spear in his hand.
Right, and he's dressed like Fred Flintstone. Yeah.
Right.
Then they realise it's probably not a recent murder.
Right.
His knuckles are dragging on the floor. He's a Neanderthal man. They think, hang on, Karl Pilkington.
But when they found out, hang on, it's an old thing.
It's an old thing!
Can it? If it was a murder recent, then you'd go, hang on, how did this happen? Who does he belong to?
Yeah.
But the chances are whoever murdered him is also dead.
5,000 years ago, probably, yeah.
So leave it. Just bury it.
I don't think it's a murder investigation.
No, but they are.
It's not Quincy going, this was before my time.
It's not a murder investigation.
Yeah, just one thing bothers me, sir. Just one final thing. My wife loves you, but this guy.
That's how they were
Why
treating
would
it.
he have a spear
Yeah.
and a leopard skin? I just can't. I can't get over this.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying? Right, shut up, everybody. What are you saying? You've got one chance now. You've got to ask me a question, and I will answer it the best way. But what are you saying?
I'm
What is
saying,
your question?
Right, he probably spent a load of money.
That's
trying
not
to
a
sort
question.
out-
That's not a
Yeah,
question.
but let me tell you what I'm saying. Right, they're probably spending a load of money finding out stuff about this fella who died, and even if he wasn't murdered, he'd be dead by now anyway. So get over it. Right, 3,000 years ago he died. Right, so then they start messing about with it, saying, well, how did he die? Well, it doesn't matter. It was ages ago. Then they start digging his belly open, seeing last meal that he ate.
Yeah.
Oh, he ate seeds and leaves. Well, no surprise, really. There was now else around. Again, spending more money. Someone's been paid money to sort that out. Then they bury him, and then said, hang on a minute, are you sure that he died by, like, a spear? Let's dig him up again. So they dig him up again, and find some splinter or something.
I don't believe they buried him.
They did. Well, in some sort of fancy coffin so everyone can see him. But for me, that is more wasteful than sorting out something that's, you know, like someone who's ill. Sort something out, you know.
No, sorry, it's not either or. They didn't put a doctor out of surgery.
Exactly. There's not an old man in a bed in a corridor somewhere.
Yeah, they go, Ted, what are you doing? I'm just giving this bloke a stat clear. No, look, we found an old fella in a skit. Okay, okay, you take over. It's not either or, Karl. What are you talking about? It's scientific research.
But don't you see why this is fascinating? It gives us an insight into how we lived 3,000, 5,000 years ago. That's an incredible historical document.
What if it was your equivalent? What if he was like the Karl of the time, and there's people, you know, ghosts now through there going, oh God, you don't believe, I don't believe it. They've dug up Karl. They think we're all like that. Oh no, oh no, they're going into his brain now. They're looking at how his brain works. We're going to get such a bad rep. Oh
well,
dear.
Each to their own. If you like it, I just thought it was a bit of a
waste of money.
A little bit of a waste.
Yeah. Okay.
But there you go. Anyway, will we give out the answers to Rockbusters next?
If we must.
Yeah. It sometimes stuns me. Sometimes I'm taken aback. Do you know what I mean?
But what worries me is if one day aliens do visit.
I'd love
and
that.
they come down, yeah. But what worries me is they might bump in. What if they bump into you? What if they bump into you and they think that you represent mankind?
And they go up and they start another planet.
They can they say, we'll ask you 3 questions, and if you answer them correctly, we will not blow up your planet. Yeah. We'd be doomed.
It depends.
It depends what they ask you, don't they? What if they said, right, Karl, what's the weirdest thing ever found in China?
I'll say hairy Chinese kid.
And they go, right.
Okay, interesting.
Too, all right.
What don't you see anymore?
What do you see an old bloke doing?
You don't see an old fella eating a Twix.
Yeah. And they say, what if they asked you, what's across the road from you when you're washing up?
Well, there's 3 things. Do you just want one of them?
No, I want all 3.
You want all 3? There was a Chinese kid dancing about in his underpants.
Yeah.
There was a bouncer every night getting ready to go to work. And the third one, the old woman reading a book, the same book.
And they go, right, your planet's saved. See,
back in the ship.
Yeah,
they are a superior race.
A story that Karl told me a couple of weeks ago.
Is this another ghost story? Another spooky story?
Yeah. I called him out. I was, what are you doing? He said, I've just been reading ghost stories again. He said, you don't believe in them, but how do you explain this? Right, I went, go on. He said, I'll tell you as he told me it. He went, bloke, right, just sitting at home, doing, you know, watching telly with his cat. And, the phone rings, and it's a bloke going, is that fire in your oven okay now? 'Cause your wife called. And Karl went, well, 1, there was no fire in the oven. 2, he wasn't married. I went, right. Go on. He went, well. Then, right, there was a knock at the door and there was 2 sort of people in sort of white coats and they came and said, we've come about that fire. Your wife called us. He went, 1, there isn't a fire in my oven, and 2, I'm not even married. Right? And he said, and they saw the cat, and they looked at the cat, it looked a bit weird at the cat came out, nothing. He said, and then he went back, and sat down, phone rings, and they said, did they sort out the fire in the oven that your wife told us about?
Oh.
He went, 1, there is no fire in my oven, 2, I haven't got a wife. And Karl went, what do you think of that? I went, that's not it. He went, yeah, I went,
that's the end of the story.
What? He went, well, how'd you explain that? I went, explain what? I thought he was going to say, a year later he got married, but she died in an oven fire. Right? I thought it was going to be that. And I went,
that's people winding him up.
Yeah, or someone did report a fire in the oven, and their name was Johnson, and they looked up Johnson, they got the wrong thing, it was the gas board, and they sent it round to the wrong person, right? You know, he went, yeah. I said, I explained it to him, he went, yeah. Why did they look at the cat funny?
Oh, man alive, Karl. This is really weird, right? I was in my house once, right, and the doorbell rang.
Yeah.
Right, I opened the door, and there was no one there.
Yeah.
Right? And then I looked across the street, right, and there were some kids running away.
Yeah.
Now, how do you explain that?
Yeah.
There was another time, right, where, like, I opened the door, and there was a bloke goes, you've ordered pizza. I went, I haven't ordered pizza. And I heard my mate upstairs giggling and putting the phone down.
Yeah. How do you explain that? Karl, seriously, why did you tell me that story? What do you think it was weird about that?
The fact that it was 3 different people.
Is this all the information? Is that the entire story?
It was 3 different people.
Did you fall
hassling
asleep and not read
about
the end?
A fire that didn't happen, about a wife that didn't exist, and a cat that didn't look happy.
Oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack, Carl. What? I mean, why did they look at the cat funny?
Because cats don't like spirits, do they?
What? The other blokes were ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So these are kind of beetle about type ghosts. These are ghosts who walk the earth as the undead, just winding people up slightly.
That's lovely. That is lovely.
seriously,
and a cat that did not look happy.
But seriously, why would ghosts wander around just like winding people up?
Oh.
Maybe something did happen there years ago. Some fire, some woman might have died in a house of a fire or something.
Yeah.
And it sort of all happened again. Bit of a,
Yeah, it's certainly a mystery.
if you don't
It is a mystery. I mean, I can't.
What's this book you were reading? You were reading a book, which is interesting enough.
it was the for tea and Times.
Oh,
Carl. Yeah. Well, I
Man
don't know.
alive.
I don't know what to say. What was that one you told me and it was completely wrong? About the...
It was oh yeah, right. It's years ago.
Oh yeah.
Some
In olden days,
Oh, sure.
when
Some,
ghosts roamed the earth.
Once upon a time, you mean?
Yeah.
some doctor or something who was into like the way bodies work. They got their head cut off.
Who did? The doctor?
Yeah, he was doing a bit of an experiment.
And he cut his own head off.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was about he said, when my head's in the basket, I'm gonna blink my eyes.
Right.
Okay, sorry, hang on, let him finish.
And
So the doctor has chopped his own head off, and he's told everyone, I'm going to blink my eyes to
No,
prove
wait,
that
he's
there's
in the
life after
basket,
death.
and he goes like, right, I'm gonna blink my eyes about, as many times as I can, to quick count them, and they count, and he got to like 15 before he
Right.
died.
Now, this is how Karl told me that. Till Nick Frost explained that, Karl told me, he said, right, well, a bloke, right, he had his head cut off, and when his head was in the basket, he went, count how many times I can blink. And I went, well, that's rubbish. He went, no. And Nick went, well, no, he actually said, when my head's in the basket. He went, and Karl went, all right. I said, Karl, do you know the subtle difference? Do you see the subtle difference?
I have
between-
to say, though, guys, I still don't really understand what went on there. You've both lost me.
The story is that a bloke who'd been found doing,
You mean that Karl just explained it and that was a clear version? Because I still don't know what you're talking about, Karl.
Well, this bloke had his head cut off at experiments against God. He was a doctor in the, in olden times.
Yeah.
And when they cut his head off,
Why did they cut his head off?
because it was
He was executed.
crimes against he was executed. Yeah, and he said to his assistant, when my head's in the basket, I'm gonna blink, count how many times I blink, and write it down as an experiment, right? Karl told it to me, like, his head was cut off and he went in the basket, and when his head was in the basket, he looked up and said, count how many times I blink. Yeah. I love that. I love the difference in that story.
Yeah, yeah.
Both rubbish,
Yeah.
but, one's
Why
possible
do you
and one
believe
isn't.
anything? You believe anything that you're told, except when we tell you the truth.
Right,
Yeah.
here's one. Ghosts and that we got talking about.
Sure.
And Nick said, right, he said, you'll like this one. He said, my auntie, was having loads of problems.
Why are you whispering? It's not illegal
like,
to talk about
ooh.
ghosts on the radio.
No, but
It's hearing this.
so, the auntie's in the house and that, and, furniture's moving about all the time.
Oh, God.
And they were like, no, this is...
Steve, he told me this one. This is such rubbish, mate.
Now, come on,
I'm
let's
gonna leave it to
listen.
you.
Let's
I'm gonna leave it to you. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it. I'm just gonna watch your face, Steve.
Right.
Sorry, so
they
I missed
said,
the beginning there, Karl. There's an auntie in the house.
basically, Nick's auntie,
Right.
in the house, things moving around all the time, and it was
God.
just annoying every time she tidied up. It was like,
It's just annoying.
making a mess.
It was one part annoying to two parts scary.
Yeah.
So, stuff was moving around all the time, and they said, right, rather than
Right, we need an housekeeper.
rather than having the house a mess, until we sort this
Stop
out.
it! I've got the vicar coming round. Stop moving stuff around.
Oh, yeah, go on.
They said,
That shouldn't be in the pants drawer.
let's put all the furniture in one room, right? So just have one room that's a mess, and have all the others empty.
Because I love the poltergeist can't really, it can move wardrobes around, but it can't open a door to put it in another room.
Yeah.
Poltergeist going, oh, I'm just making this room messy. I wish someone would open the door so I could, go on.
Yeah, but so all this stuff's in this room.
So they
right?
moved all their furniture into
everything.
one
They
room.
put like the drawers in there and everything, and it was really uncomfortable because they were all like on top of each
They
other.
sat in the room with all the stuff.
Yeah, they had to, because that's where the three-piece suite was.
Okay.
Oh God!
Right?
Oh God!
So they sat there, like, all crumpled up and that, but nothing can move because it's so tight. Things, I think things were trying to move,
Yeah,
but everything was so tight, it's
They
just like...
foxed that poltergeist.
So anyway, one night they sat there, like, sort of a bit awkward watching the telly and that, and, they hear some banging.
Yeah.
In the next room. So, she goes, oh God, what's that?
Oh, he hadn't moved in, had he, the ghost?
So,
to some of the empty rooms.
So there's this
He's moved some friends and family in.
There's this banging about going on.
No,
so
this,
she gets up, right?
Yeah.
And what it is, they had the baby in the next room because there wasn't much room for the cot.
Right, so they left the baby with the ghost.
So they go into the room where the baby is, and the banging.
Yeah.
Is like, do you know those plastic balls you get that you can chuck around the room and like they go mental?
Right.
The ones that you chuck once and they keep bouncing for ages. That was bouncing around the room.
Wow, what, the baby had thrown it?
Hitting all the walls, and the baby was there, stood in the cot, sort of laughing.
Right.
And looking at the ball, and wherever it looked, the ball went.
Yeah.
And then she said, stop doing that.
Yeah.
And the ball just stopped.
Did it?
And it rolled a bit and stopped.
Right. So the baby had thrown the ball and it was watching it as it bounced around the room?
It wasn't throwing it, it was in control of it.
No, the point is, Steve, the baby has been doing it. It's been the baby all along.
The baby had been messing with the furniture. It was
So
the baby
it's a
that had the
super
power. Yeah, it's the baby that had the power.
Special baby.
It's a baby that had the power. It's
What
a baby that had the power.
What-
the power
what's the power?
of telekinesis.
Right.
They were then trying to convince me that telekinesis was not like all the other stuff that I didn't believe in, but that was a science.
Right.
Telekinesis was possible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like ghosts and demons and all that sort of. Telekinesis is different.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a science.
But Nick's auntie saw it, and
I love the fact that you're telling me that someone else's auntie saw it. So I should be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
I should be satisfied with that. I mean,
So does she still live in one room with all her possessions?
no, I think
the baby grew out of it, apparently.
it grew
The
up.
baby grew out of it.
So it doesn't use its telekinesis powers anymore?
Well, no, it's
No.
like in Carrie, innit? She was upset for a bit, and then she got over it.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing, Carl. That was a film. Do you want to play a record or?